upgrade. Now everyone can get GM employee pricing on most GMC models. Use it to get over $6,200 total value on this 2021 Acadia Denali. We are professional grade. GMC.
Hey, honey, could you help me with this? Today tastes like staying in. And it never tasted this good.
Save more with Target Circle. This week, save $10 when you spend $50 on toys. Now through Saturday.
What up, though?
You got the game going?
I
I sent you the link that I use.
Where'd you send it? You sent it on.
I texted it to you.
Okay.
Yo, and for future reference, any sporting event you ever want to watch, use this website, dude. I don't tell nobody about it because I'm not trying to get it all bogged down with traffic, but this one has everything for free.
Legit.
And it's all in like 4K, dude. It's retarded.
That's what's up.
Nah, it's the best. This is the best streaming site I've ever found, and no one uses it ever. You go into the. It's funny because you go in and there'll be like 3 people in the stream total, and I'll be like, yo, how the fuck does nobody know about this site?
Mm-hmm.
We'll do it like this in case Nice decides to show up today. Highly unlikely.
Oh, it's starting it. So it'll just automatically pop up once it's ready because it's starting at 8:05, right?
Well, it should already be going. They got the pregame going right now.
All right.
We're having internet issues in Bushwick the last couple of days, so you already know it might get a little buggy every once in a while.
Same over this way.
That's New York right now, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know what's nuts about it though is if I go down my street, the main internet junction box is literally on the corner of my street. Dude, the shit is open with all the wires exposed right now.
That doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I know, and you wonder why we have internet issues in Bushwick.
Yeah, let's just. Bang. All right. Shut some of these other joints down.
Alright, bam, we're up and running there. Running here. Internet's working. Successfully connected.
Yeah.
Alright. Got this bum ass game up.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm really wondering.
It's Tuesday football though, so you know, whatever.
It is Tuesday football. I'm just wondering how big of an impact Lamar's going to have on the game because, like I said before, Rona is not to be played with. And people get it and come right back. Normally, they're going to be affected. It's not like any other regular injury. He's not going to be running as much. His wind is going to be compromised.
Yeah, we've seen all that happen already. Damn.
Yeah, so I wouldn't actually be surprised if Dallas snagged this one.
So while all this nonsense is going on in the background, the beauty of having this running in the background is we can talk about all the football that went on and have a fucking gameplay, and this is fucking dope. I fucks with it. This is a good idea on your part.
Yes, sir.
Because
yes, sir.
I have figured out a way to skirt YouTube's algorithms to where they will not shut me down while I'm doing this. It's hilarious.
Oh, that's dope.
Well, dude, I did a live stream of the Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. fight.
Oh, word.
Yeah, and people were hopping in the chat and everyone was going, "Yo, how the fuck are you doing this?" I mean, I'm a veteran in the YouTube game at this point, man. I've been doing this since January, and I've kind of figured out all the ways to make it work.
Listen, if you didn't learn during this age of Rona, that's on you. You
Yeah,
played yourself.
100%. And I knew that, I remember getting sick in December and then telling my roommate, she ordered some masks in late December. And I was already in January going out and about. We were already wearing it. And I remember telling her, like, yo, something's coming. They don't want to fuck everybody up because I was sick as hell.
Damn.
And then
You already had that jump.
Yeah, December. Right literally the 3 days after Christmas, I was out. I traveled down to West Virginia for Christmas, and when I got back, dude, I've never been that sick in my life. But I knew something was coming, and I knew the lockdown was coming, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to learn some new skills during the Roni.
That's a shot, mine. That's what this is all about.
Yeah, a whole lot of things going on in my life that I'd never done before, like fantasy football.
And you've been making some money.
Yo, man, I've learned my lessons because the way my strategy has always been find a valuable running back, which Gallman killed it this week. Thanks, Wayne Gallman. Killed it. I've been running with Gallman and Antonio Gibson, and they've been killing it for me. And they're cheap.
Well, the dreaded toe got Antonio this week.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're cheap, which allows you to spend, elsewhere. It allows you to add Devontae Adams, which is, we're going to talk about Devontae. Beast. How about NFL Offensive Player of the Year? He should get it.
He's having an all-time season.
He's having the best season of anybody, the most consistent of anybody in the NFL, not named Justin Jefferson, because Justin Jefferson is literally doing the same thing.
Killing it. As soon as Kirk Cousins discovered Justin Jefferson was on the damn team, he's been unstoppable.
I mean, we said it in the preseason. We literally said it, and I knew it. I was like, he is a clone of Stephon Diggs. Even physically, he looks just like him. If he can play like him, there'll be no drop-off. And the only drop-off was Kirk had to learn to trust him. And now he's killing it, dude. Killing it, and it's crazy because he has the benefit of having Adam Thielen eat up the number one corner. So he's usually working on the number two or whatever until he destroys them, and then they swap, and then Adam Thielen just starts eating up the number two.
Yeah, these one-handed catches. Can't wait for Irv Smith to get back.
Oh, side note on Adam Thielen, I know you'll love this one. He's been given a nickname now. You know when you're balling and you earn a nickname, and this one's going to stick. Yeah. White Claw. I knew you would love it.
That's dope. Yeah, especially after that one-hander in the end zone. Yeah.
He should run with that. His agent should call White Claw and get an endorsement deal immediately.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm over that.
Dude, that nickname is incredible. Whoever came up with that one, good kudos to you.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So good. But yeah, Justin Jefferson, oh my God. And it was funny because, the little bit of notes that I made for this week, I put in Justin Jefferson realistically should end up being a first-team all-pro wide receiver. But he's not going to be because they're going to give it to Hopkins.
Yep.
But Justin Jefferson he's had a better season than Hopkins has. It's just Hopkins is Hopkins, and he did have that one fucking catch that everyone.
He Odell'd himself into that all-pro position because all you need to do is have one spectacular catch and then forget it. That's what people remember.
He did because Justin Jefferson he's having the second best season for a wide receiver in the NFL because Devontae, dude, he's got 12 touchdowns in 10 games. He's leading the league in reception yards. Well, no, he's third. Metcalf is first. Travis Kelce is number 2 and only 5 yards behind Metcalf. That's incredible.
Insanity.
Yeah. For a tight end.
Tyreek Hill there too. And he's the only tight end to have 5 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah, even if you're doing something that Gronk didn't do, that you're doing something special.
Yeah. Gronk didn't do it.
Gonzalez didn't do it.
Gonzalez didn't do it. Antonio Gates didn't do it.
That one surprises me because Antonio Gates was literally there to catch passes. He wasn't blocking.
All the time. Phillip always threw him the rock. So, I was surprised when I saw that, too. Yeah, I was surprised Gronk didn't do it. They spread the ball around still. Gronk made more important catches.
Gronk made bigger catches, and he was a red zone target. It's going to, if you're in anywhere inside the 20, it's going to him. You can't stop him. He's literally unstoppable for us. Which is another unstoppable force, but on the opposite side of the ball that I keep giving praise. You know, Jalen Ramsey should get Defensive Player of the Year. Because
he's making a big difference on that defense. Though.
Well, I mean, Kerry, you look at the other players outside of T.J. Watt. A lot of other players like Devin Bush in Pittsburgh, and a couple other big time.
Myles Garrett was hurt.
They've all gotten hurt. You know, and they've sat out. Jalen Ramsey has dominated whoever's in front of him every week. He did it again this week. Yeah, Hop, I mean, come on. You know, the NFL's made for offense. Hop is going to get some catches. Yeah. But when he was on him, it does the same thing with Metcalf. He erased DK Metcalf. Because he's the only one big enough to do it. He's like 6'2 or 6'3, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah. And he's physical.
Extremely. And
we'll let you know about it.
Yeah, well, he's literally the perfect build for a corner.
Sure.
Mentally and physically, because he has the mental capacity to play corner. It's the hardest position to play, not X's and O's mentally, outside of kicker, because one mistake and you've just given up a huge touchdown, and now you got to forget that just happened and get your fucking head in the game and continue to play. It's tough. It's tough. You got to be very, very arrogant.
You'll have the other team chirping, like you give up a big play, they're gonna be in your ear. If you're on the road, the crowd won't let you forget. You even have some teammates looking at you sideways, like, "Coach, we might need to switch your mount, Coach."
Yeah, man, that was it's a tough position, but that's where the arrogance and the let's see, which word do I want to use?
Take that thesaurus.
Yeah, I spoke too goddamn much. I've had a headache for like 5 days, man. My brain's a little bit slow today.
Man.
Yeah, no, I got my headaches are all smell triggered, and what I thought was just steam from the street when I was walking my dog ended up being a road crew paving the road, and hot pavement gives me a migraine instantaneously. One smell, it is instant. And I walked right through the cloud, and I just breathed once. I was like, "Oh, here we go!" And it's been 5 days.
You know what? That's something she said.
Yeah.
About that damn hot pavement.
That hot pavement.
I think the word you were looking for was pugnacity. It's a good one. Combative in nature.
That wasn't the word I'm looking for, but we're going to run with it like it was. Narcissistic. Narcissism. That is a good trait for a quarter, is narcissism.
And Dion was the best.
100%. 100%. Though, I will always say that the 3 to 5 year period of Revis Island is the best example of someone playing corner that we will ever see. Because Dion didn't tackle, and Revis will put his face in there.
He would. The only thing with Revis is he talks shit on the humble.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? He wouldn't really let you know, but he's more likely to even tell you now on social media. Like when they showed that one highlight of him getting mossed, and he was just like, well, you know, and he said it rarely happened to me. I mean, it happens, but it rarely happened to me. That's why they talk about it.
It was
like, oh, okay.
It's true. Okay. It's Randy goddamn Moss too.
Yeah.
At the peak of his Moss powers, 23 touchdowns in one season when everyone knew he was getting the ball every play. Like,
which is what makes Devontae Adams this season that much that special because everybody knows where the Rockets going.
And this
Everybody knows.
this is why I'm the first one to say it. You know, I watch sports shows in the morning. I get up and the first thing I watch is Good Morning Football, and then on to First Take and listen to fucking Skip and Shannon yell at each other for a while, and then the other one that I watch until the Pat McAfee show comes on, and then I'm all over that show. And I'm the first one to say it. Davante Adams should be Offensive Player of the Year. He's not going to win an MVP. He never will.
Right.
But
the last receiver to do that was Jerry Rice, and I don't think it's going to happen again.
I mean, look what Randy Moss did to that Patriots team, turning them from defense and running into the most explosive offensive team we have ever seen. 60 points at will on anyone except the Giants. Yeah, I know it happens twice. Twice. And Randy Moss didn't even get MVP consideration. Tom Brady ran away with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was nearly a unanimous MVP, and I was looking at it like, well, damn.
Crazy because Tom didn't have those numbers the year before.
Not even close. It was like 26 touchdowns the year before. He had 23 to Randy. Like,
I know what I'm saying. So I'm like, come on now. We know what's going on. But it's all good. Apparently, I'm just getting a report that Dez Bryant was on the field warming up, and they pulled him off because he just tested positive for Rona.
you know, the Ravens got like 15 players that have tested positive.
This game is going to be fuck.
Well, not only this game, after this game, these two teams are going to.
So if he was on the field with them in the locker with them, we've been seeing this with the Ravens this entire season. I just.
Well, they're going to do what they did with Denver. It's not even going to be if you test positive. It's going to be the contact tracing and high risk because you were in the same room with them without mask, and you're on the field warming up, which means you definitely did not have your mask on. So
exactly, it's not even going to really be responsible for Baltimore to play a game. I mean, they haven't canceled a game yet this season. They've just rescheduled. And we've seen constantly it's Baltimore, reschedule. But at this point, son, I'll need to go ahead and take a seat.
Yeah, Dallas just picked off Lamar. It's over for Lamar, man. That offense is everyone knows it. They don't have any weapons to throw it to. There's no threat in the passing game outside of the tight end. You just double him. That's easy.
And what I tell you, and I picked Dallas this week.
Yeah, so I want to talk about the picks because I had a fun week with this could have been a major swing. A major swing for you.
Giants, I was a scooch away.
This could have been a huge swing for you because you're going to laugh at the picks I made because this week, because I had, I wouldn't say a sizable lead, but I have enough of a lead that I can look over my shoulder real quick while we're running.
He was just joking around.
I just went with it this week, and most of them hit. It was hilarious. New Orleans, I didn't want to pick them, but I did.
Right.
I didn't want. I told you I went with the opposite of what I wanted to pick this week, except the obvious wins. Right. But New Orleans, I initially wanted to pick Atlanta because they're playing a little bit hot and whatnot, and
yeah. Well, I went with him. I was rocking with. I was on that Raheem Morris train.
Yeah, but then the roster of Atlanta proved who they are. That's the problem. Julio's hurt. Calvin Ridley's getting doubled now. They don't have a running game.
I think Raheem may have got himself a new draft.
Yeah, he did. He should. They should just keep him.
Yeah.
Especially if the players like him, they should totally keep him.
Yeah, and they're playing hard for him, and yeah. Fuck it, don't mess that up. Keep that going, Atlanta. My favorite pick was, which to me was a no-brainer.
Yeah, we both picked it. I already know. Yeah, we both picked it. We talked about that one.
I was wishing that you didn't pick that. That
was such an easy pick. You and I know football too well. That is literally the perfect trap game, and it was.
Trap. And I was like, that defensive line
Woo.
For Washington is playing lights out.
Sweat is balling, yo.
Montez, and you saw what he did that game, 3 tip passes and the one critical one for the pick. And I was saying in the third quarter, I was like, all right, Ben, with all these drops, Ebron, I don't know how he didn't get pulled with all them drops he had. But I was like, okay, they're going to keep dropping them. The ball's going to keep going up in the air. It's going to get picked. It's going to get picked. Ben is going to throw a pick because of this shit.
Well, you know, man, I've been riding the district or the Chocolate City Bigums train since Alex Smith became quarterback, man. And you know, I've said it. It's a whole different team. Just having a quarterback who will not lose you the game changes everything. He doesn't have to win the game. That defense is winning the games for him.
If you're a running back or a tight end, you like this. I'm ready. I hope I'm well stretched because I'm about to. Logan Thomas, busy. J.D. McKissick, busy.
Logan Thomas, former Virginia Tech fucking quarterback, getting busy at tight end.
I know. Yeah.
Dude, I didn't even believe it was him until I didn't even believe it was him when I saw him with that number on his jersey because how big he is.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's huge.
It's huge. And he has great hands.
I was like, is that the same Logan? That has to be a tight end from like somewhere else. And I was like, no, that's him. Holy shit, I didn't know he was that big.
He got drafted by the Cardinals to be quarterback. He got in a couple of preseason games, didn't work out. He tooled around in the league. He bounced a little bit. And then he decided to make the switch, which is the best thing, which smart for him. Look, Blake Bell did the same thing. He was quarterback in Oklahoma, knew he wasn't going to make it in the league as a quarterback, switched to tight end. Now he's the 49ers' third tight end. He's been around the league. I mean, it happens.
Yeah, carve out a career, man. This is what Pat White. Yeah. This is what Pat White refused to do. Pat White was like, "No, I'm a quarterback. I'm a quarterback. I'm a quarterback." No, you're not. You're too. Destroyed. Well, now he could be a quarterback in the league, but back when he was doing that, you couldn't.
Still, listen.
Well, because he doesn't run like, Kyler Murray doesn't take direct shots.
Oh, and Pat White is light in the ass. Come on now. I would be concerned with him returning kicks. He's so small. But, he should have done just like Antoine Randall L. Now, I'm not all the time for players switch a position like that, but sometimes it just makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're fast enough and you're good and you can run with the ball in your hand, you're good in open space, then and you're not an NFL caliber quarterback and you're in the league, you fucking switch.
Hines Ward is going to be, or at least he should be, a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
He will be eventually. Hines Ward? Tim Tebow could have been the best H-back in the NFL if he would have fucking stopped being so stubborn.
Stubborn. I never got that. You're a football player. He's one of the, especially on the college level and high school level, one of the greatest to ever play. So, man, just make the switch. It's easy. Have a career. Now he's fooling around with the Mets. Well,
look at Jacoby Myers. He switched from wide receiver. That kid in Denver switched from quarterback to wide receiver. It happens all the time. You got to remember, who was it? Who was the quarterback that they tried to put at corner? Oh, fuck. It was literally like the Willie Beeman story in real life. Quarterback at a small college, and they tried to make him switch to corner just because he was athletic and whatnot. And then he's like, fuck this shit, and he stayed playing quarterback there and got to the league, and the same thing. He was like, nah, I'm a quarterback, and he only lasted a couple years because, well, no, you're not a quarterback. You were an athlete. Yeah, but that Washington pick was easy.
NFL tried to make Warren Moon a corner, and he was like, have you seen this arm?
Do you not hear the ball as it's rotating?
Right.
What is wrong with you?
That's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes, sir, okay, I will go to Canada, win about 5 Grey Cups, come back. Really, if you really want to keep it real, just like on a professional quarterbacking level, Warren Moon had the most passing yards of all time. Yeah. I think at this point, Breeze may have passed him, but he had over 70,000 years ago.
Yeah, Warren Moon will never be talked about in the GOAT conversation just because they're only going to look at NFL career only. Sure. And I'm going to play the race card, which I rarely do. They don't look at Doug Flutie's career only in the NFL.
Yeah, I know.
It's his encompasses his entire career, college, Canadian League, same thing with Kurt Warner. You know, they always tell his story with his whole fucking
bagging groceries and shit. Then did arena. He's like, he has a movie coming out about himself.
He should.
You know this?
He should.
But Rona delayed it some, but he's gonna have a movie coming out. Legit, Kurt Warner story.
He needs one. That's a Disney movie if I ever heard one.
Mm-hmm. Praise the Lord. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but anyway, that Washington pick, come on. So we know football. We called it before it even happens. If I was a game better, I'm not. I'll get into that next season. I'm just easing my way in. I never sprint in. I would have totally hammered that one because I knew it. Come on, you just know. It was too easy. Yep. It's too hard to win that many games in a row and stay on point for football. Like, it's just too goddamn hard, and you only get 16 chances.
I'm telling you.
And the thing is, Kerry, you might have the best Friday practice ever. The whole week might be incredible, and then you come out, and look what happens. Look what happened in Tennessee this week. Cleveland scores, and then Derrick Henry gets the ball and fumbles, and then Cleveland scores again, and then all of a sudden it's 14-0, 3 and out because Sheldon Richardson fucking played the best game I've seen him play in like 7 years.
Wow. Yeah, and he's motivated. When he was at the peak of his powers, Sheldon Richardson was bar none the best tackle in the league. You
know who he reminded me of when he was getting busy? Dana Stubblefield.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell
because Dana, they looked at – yeah, it was just the same type of impact, too, on the game. Yeah. And, Sheldon Richardson was getting busy. That's the game I watched in the 1 o'clock slot because it was a good game. And
Myles Garrett is coming back. He was huffing and puffing, but
to me that was it. Whenever they said that Myles Garrett was coming back, I was just like, you know what? I'm going with the opposites this week. I would pick Tennessee because I just know they are a Super Bowl caliber team, and we don't know if Cleveland is. But I was like, we're going with opposites this week. Let me roll with the dog pound. Baker played his best game he has ever played. Ever.
Absolutely.
At any level.
And I'm going to say this because the conversation came up again because, Cleveland won. The Browns are better with Odell not on the team. And I had to remind them, listen, you say that the big difference was always Chubb. But what you have to understand, when Cleveland makes the playoffs, and we saw this, we'll transition to that, the Bills, in the Bills game. When they needed 4th and 2, who did they throw the ball to? Stephon Diggs, their best wide receiver, because they knew in a one-on-one matchup, he would win and he'd get them the first down. Now, yes, you have Jarvis Landry on Cleveland, but they know that. They'll double Jarvis, and then that just leaves Higgins, the people's choice. Who are you going to throw it to? That's what makes Odell. You have Odell on the team. Now you have Odell and Jarvis, and now Baker could go to either one, but he'd likely go to Odell, and Odell would likely make the play. They're going to miss him in the playoffs, and that's going to be the biggest difference.
All right,
then you'll start to feel
so for those who let me break it down in more lay terms. It's not Odell being on the field that makes them less efficient. It's the quarterback who feels like I have to force it to this guy. You're the fucking quarterback. You look him. You're the quarterback. You're the alpha. Do you think if Odell was in Green Bay or in just any Hall of Fame level quarterback, do you think that they're going to look at him and be like, yo, I'm going to force feed you early, man, get you into this game? No. They'll be like, yo, I will get you if you're open, you're going to get it. So just keep getting open. You're going to get the fucking ball. It's easy.
Yep.
And I think that was on Baker feeling like he had to force it. And now when he's not there, he doesn't have to force anything. And as we said, they're running through these two running backs that are both unstoppable.
They have the best 1-2 punch at running back in the league. And even if they only had Chubb, this guy's a monster.
Yo, you know who they started comparing him to? And if you watch him run physically, the way his speed and pace, they're not wrong. And he's also averaging over 6 yards a fucking carry this year, which in the NFL is retarded.
Are they about to drop some Jim Brown on him?
Yes.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Watch
I
him.
knew
Watch
it.
the way his legs, the length of his stride, and where his center of gravity is. And I was like, okay, I see it. It's hard to ever bring up a name like that and compare anyone to Jim Brown, but I see it.
But also, here's another thing I really like. I mean, because I'll be honest with you, he's becoming my favorite running back in the league. He scores. He just runs. His facial expression never changes. You don't know what he's done, and he just goes to the sideline and he's chilling. He hands the ball to the ref, and it's nothing. You can't crack this kid.
You know who he actually reminds me of more?
Who's that?
Tick, 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 and clock killing Corey Dillon, because his facial expression never changes. He just goes and gets busy, always moving forward. Corey Dillon wasn't as fast as Nick Chubb, because Nick Chubb will break it on you.
Chubb got some speed.
So then he more looks like Fred Taylor to me, because Freddie T would break it on you, and I have to bring that up.
Yeah, but Freddie T would also talk to you.
Yeah.
He would talk to you too, though.
But yeah,
Nick
Chubb, man. Woo.
Yeah, Chubb Rock. I love that kid. That's the thing. That's what makes the Browns dangerous. And also, I'm not gonna lie, it makes me feel bad for Odell, because I would just love to see them with their full offensive weaponry to see how this would work now.
Oh, it'd be incredible. It'd be amazing.
He's playing well. Yeah.
It'd be amazing. So let me ask you something. What week did Odell get hurt in? Was that 2 or 3?
Oh no, further than that. He, I think it was like 6.
So it was week 6. So basically, ever since he's gotten hurt, they've only lost once, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And they had a really bad game. Also, It was a terrible weather game, because they talked about that today.
Weather.
It was really bad weather. So they've been playing really, really good. And with the trajectory of Pittsburgh, with the injuries on defense, because Bud Dupree being out that is a monster blow to them.
That is, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That was another reason why it had to go that way, because with White out, you still had Bud and Watt, but
now you could just focus everything on one side.
That's what I was saying. That's what I would do. Whoever took Bud's spot, he would be getting worked.
So also in that game,
out of that side, and then on some other side, then catch TJ off guard every now and again, but destroy that other side.
So you're looking at Joe Hayden also went down with an injury, so their best corner got hurt. So their defense is missing very important parts, right? They still can play well, but Washington, who is not that good on offense, was able to punch it in when necessary, when needed, right? So that offense with Pittsburgh, all those weapons, they're looking like they're having Tampa Bay issues right now. Like, we have all these toys, and now I just don't know who to use and when and what, and the game plan's looking off. And plus, they don't fucking run the ball at all. Dude, they threw it like 53 times versus like 11 runs or something yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, and no James Conner really. That Snell.
Yeah, Benny Snell, and then who knows who the other guy is.
McFarland. Yeah, McFarland. Anthony McFarland.
So if you were watching the game at all, when Big Ben would do his play action, notice the air quotes, dude, he wouldn't even look at the running back. He was literally looking at receivers as he's doing play action. Like, it's not even a threat.
Right.
Like, what's the point of even doing it? Like, they're very one-dimensional right now, completely one-dimensional.
And not even that. I mean, I don't know what's going on out there, but it was cold. I get it. It was cold, but it was just as cold for the Washington receivers. They were catching the rock. Everybody on Washington was catching the rock. Running backs, tight ends, everybody.
So with
Pittsburgh, they dropping the rock all over the place now.
I always look at it if it's a team-wide issue of the rock hitting the ground at all times, that it's coming out of the quarterback's hand wrong. There's something going on. It's wobbly or it's spinning. Maybe he's got a finger issue, and the rotation's off because it was a team-wide thing. Everybody was dropping it.
Everybody.
So
for the past couple of weeks.
So to me, that means that there's an injury with Ben, because
right.
it can't be everybody. So what's the common denominator? It's got to who's throwing the football to him. Something's changed.
Yeah.
And
it's not coming to the way that they're expecting it. The way that they're used to getting.
And Kerry, in the NFL, everything is the timing is so precise. Yeah. Like, it is literally microseconds. So if you're off a little bit, the hands have already closed, fingers have already clenched down, off of what your muscle memory's doing. A lot of drop balls.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Easy game to pick, though. That was an easy one. You know what was another easy one? Detroit and Chicago. I'm surprised you went with Chicago, dude.
I'll tell you why.
I want to know why, because bad coach gets fired, GM goes with them, team always wins the next game. Guaranteed. Yeah. Never fails.
I really had more faith in that Chicago defense. And even though Trubisky is terrible, I thought that he is athletic, and I thought that he would do a couple of things with his athleticism. And David Montgomery came back.
He balled. He balled a couple touchdowns.
Even Patterson got the rock and had over 60 yards rushing. So I was expecting something like that, and I was expecting that. And they did have to lead. They were on the victory.
Kerry, I expected
They blew it.
I expected Chicago to win. I just told you. I just went with. I for some reason I said fuck it. I'm going the opposite way this week. I had a great week, in odd ways, because I'm telling you, my fantasy team, I did so well. It's just I didn't pick New England's defense, and people in the rooms who did, they're the ones who beat me, because we all had the same roster outside of the defense. Dude, they put up 30 fucking points on defense. 2 special teams touchdowns. Like,
that game, okay. As far as I know, Anthony Lynn still has his job.
No. We'll get to that. Because I want to talk about it. We'll stick to this Detroit one real quick. It surprised me that you, knowing that Patricia and that GM were gone, it's a guaranteed win for the Lions. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
You could have told me it was their practice squad, and I still would have picked them. It always happens.
You know what? I'll be honest.
Woo! Good catch. Touchdown.
Yeah, Gallup. It slipped my mind a little bit, the Patricia and all that, and I was just thinking Chicago. If I would have remembered that, I would have went Detroit.
Trust me, it's Detroit. I don't give a fuck about Detroit. I didn't remember. On Sundays, I wake up very early, and I do all my fantasy shit in the morning when I wake up before I go out, so that I don't miss it.
Yeah.
And I was watching one of the pregame shows at like 6 a.m., and then they talked about Patricia being fired. I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot. Shh, scratch out that Chicago pick and put it in Detroit. Guaranteed win. Guaranteed.
I've been slipping on catching my shows early on Sunday morning.
All right, so now we can transition to the other one that I'm surprised that you picked the Chargers.
Okay, so here's what I was banking on. I was banking on that they had to come back and win one of these games. Eckler's back now. Their receivers have been playing well. And you know what? I looked at the injury report, but, New England's injury report is always –
Their whole roster, everybody always.
They always have 50 players on there.
I think I saw Richard Seymour's name on the injury report this week.
I got influenced, and I felt that, okay, they've been in so many games and so close. And I feel like they really do like Anthony Lynn, and I felt like they were going to go out and really try to get this one for him. and then they got a damn goose egg. So the Chargers are
I
off
feel
my
you on all of that shit, except
off
rookie quarterbacks do not beat Bill Belichick,
I know.
especially in New England, traveling across the country and playing at 1 o'clock. Oh my God, I didn't expect 45-0.
I actually thought New England was playing in L.A. That's another thing. I thought New England was playing in L.A. I was slacking on my McInerney.
Yeah, I mean, and plus, Justin Herbert, ever since he got that terrible haircut, is and honestly, it's not even been the haircut. It's Austin Eckler is back, and they have literally focused their offense around him ever since he's been back, and they sucked in these past 2 games.
Huge mistake.
Huge mistake.
Somebody went against me, and they started Justin Herbert over Josh Allen. Justin Herbert got them 2 points, while Josh Allen was balling on their bench with 35 points. I won very easily.
Yeah, I had Derek Carr, so big baller there. Derek Carr and Darren Waller, 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. So listen to the team. I had it. My mistake was I finagled it in a way that I picked up Alvin Kamara as my flex instead of going hard on defense, and the only money I had left was like the bottom of the defense. And the guys, everyone in all the rooms I was in who won had the Patriots defense and somebody else instead of Kamara, because Kamara he had a touchdown like 80 yards or something, but he ain't put up no 30 points. That's for goddamn sure. But I had Devontae Adams, Corey Davis, Darren Waller, Gallman.
Gallman got busy.
Derek Carr. Dude, I had it right except the defense, and I had Kamara instead of the Patriots. Literally. Dude, I put up like 240 some points.
Who did you have for defense?
Fucking Falcons. Yeah. I mean, they put up like 16 points or whatever, and that's just what I expect.
They did get a couple turnovers.
A couple turnovers and a couple sacks. My strategy has always been I just mail it in on defense and load up on offense, and now I'm starting to understand how the scoring on defense actually works. So you're just looking for a defense that's going to create sacks, negative plays, and get some turnovers. That's it. And then they also have lumped the special teams in with the defense because you're not picking.
They always do that.
So that's why New England, dude, they had 2 special teams touchdowns.
But see, that's the thing. In special teams touchdowns are so rare in this age that
they almost had 3.
You don't even think about that anymore. You know what I mean? Whereas you would choose the Bears defense because they had Devin Hester, and you knew you were going to get a touchdown at some point in time. You just don't have those defenses like that, or those return specialists like that anymore. I think in terms of returns, kickoff and punt, I think we're still under double digits, and it's week 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whereas you look in years past, you had kickoff, punt, return every week.
Yeah, no, it was a big deal, and as a returner, I miss it because
I miss it big time.
You're looking at the most exciting play in the game.
Yeah. Because you break it, and oh boy. Oh, wow. I hate Dallas.
I do too. I fucking hate that team. America's team. Fuck you.
Jeez.
Ooh, good cut. Is that Dobbins or Ingram?
That's Gus Edwards.
Oh, Gus. Yeah. Ride the Gus bus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that New England one was an easy one for me just because rookie quarterbacks don't beat the hoodie. It doesn't happen. I don't care which rookie you are. It just doesn't happen.
That's true. And quiet as kept. New England has gotten back in the conversation. Nobody's really talking about that. But they put together a couple weeks now. It's looked ugly. This one was huge. But we got to start reevaluating, see what this wild card shit is looking like.
They're 6-6 right now, and they could, we'll see what they could sneak in, and the hoodie in a 1-game scenario is not fun for anybody.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey,
and if Cam has a good game, if Cam is on, you're going to lose. You're going to lose.
Yeah.
Because James White is back to being James White. Cam's using him like Tom used to, out the backfield, third down, killing it.
I mean, we also have to remember James White lost his father, damn near lost his mom's. Like, dude is going through it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit has been going on up in New England. So, like, things are starting to the ship is starting to right itself. And now we're starting to see, I mean, look at McCourty. When McCourty scored, I haven't seen McCourty run that fast since his early years. He was out. I was like, damn.
Hey,
what's
man,
up?
He smelled that end zone, and you know what a defender.
He put the boosters on. I was like, damn, son.
Said, you know, when you're playing defense, even when you're a receiver, dude, when you're
since he's touched that end zone.
When you're a receiver, you know, like, all right, I'm only going to get maybe 10 opportunities today to do something.
Yeah.
A defender might get 10 opportunities in a career to do something with the ball and touch the end zone. So,
and especially someone like McCourty, where him and his twin brother, they went to St. Peter's out in Jersey High School. There's a classic game with them going against Brian Cushing, because Brian Cushing went to Don Bosco. Brian Cushing was a monster. He played running back and linebacker. And it was the McCourty brothers versus Brian Cushing. YouTube that, y'all. It was a fucking amazing game. So one of the McCourtys would score, Brian Cushing would come back and do something. And so they were used to score. They were playing receiver and DBs back then. And so they were used to scoring all the time. So it's like, when you do that, and then when they went to Rutgers, same business. So you get to the league, you know, McCourty in New England was getting busy all the time. He was scoring interceptions, all pro, all this. Jason, he played well. But, I knew he was like, Devin was like, yo, I'm going to get this end zone again. Shit.
Plus,
he may never run again that fast in his life again. But
he won't. The only time he'll ever run that fast if he's running against his twin brother, because –
right.
I mean, dude, if your twin brother is on the field playing defense too and you pick it, I'm getting to the end zone and I'm talking shit to him until he gets one. Exactly. I'm never letting it go. I'm up on you. They probably have a bet between each other before the season. I would. That shit would be fun. So Miami and Cincy, easy game to pick. Easy. Cincy's devastated. Yeah. They're decimated. Who cares? Tua didn't look that good. I keep thinking they're going to throw Fitzmagic back in there, but they didn't. You know, they're just going to keep riding with Tua. But the rest of that team,
as they should.
Mike Gesicki is a beast.
Woo. He is, and I'm glad that he's fine. I saw this for him. I was like, when are they going to finally unleash this guy? And now he's getting it. But Fitzmagic showed him the way.
Fucking.
Young quarterbacks all the time, they love their tight ends.
Well, I mean, if you play tight end and you went to Iowa, odds are you're going to be a beast. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. I feel like Gesicki is next up. He's in that crop of next up tight
Well,
end.
he's actually looking better than Hawkinson right now.
Yeah.
And that's surprising me because I pegged Hawkinson. I was just like, this guy's going to be a stud. You can see it. You could see it when he was moving. He's big, fast. He likes to block. He had Matthew Stafford throwing to him. Oh, yeah, put up numbers. Yeah. He's played well, but Gesicki is playing at an all-pro level right now. If Darren Waller hadn't scored 20 touchdowns this year, then Gesicki would be an all-pro with Kelsey, because Kelsey is an automatic. It's automatic. You can't lead the league in receiving at tight end and not be first-team all-pro.
Well, then also you have they are taking advantage of the fact that homie out of San Francisco, well, Arizona now, is out.
Yeah, they are taking advantage of that. That's what happens. Sometimes that's the only way you can be crowned the best or get a first-team all-pro nod. Is it's like, all right, finally, this guy who's better than everyone isn't there this year. Yeah. Somebody else finally gets a shot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, so they're going to say that when Tom Brady retires. The whole world, even when he left New England, everyone's like, oh, fine, somebody else finally gets a shot at the Super Bowl.
Right.
You know, it's the same thing with the All-Pro thing, because All-Pros, All-Pro and Pro Bowl, completely different thing. All-Pro, respect from your peers, that means something. All-Pro is like, if everyone knows who you are, you're going to get in there.
Yeah, Pro Bowl. Yeah, right.
Pro Bowl. Yeah, stupid shit.
Yeah. But why am I blanking on the tight end out of San Francisco? I'm blanking on
Kittle.
Yeah, thank you. I'm starting to be a little concerned about him because George has been getting hurt now. He's been getting hurt a lot.
Well, he tries to emulate the way that Gronk played.
Exactly.
And doesn't have a 270-pound body.
Correct. Yeah. So I need him to be smarter about it. And he's also a huge WWE guy, so he goes in with that mentality. He's not going to be. He's loco, as you need to be. But you could be loco, but be smart loco. He's just being loco.
Yeah, his body's not built for the way that he plays. He's built more like Aaron Hernandez and not like Gronk.
Right.
You know, Gronk. Right. Look how many games Gronk missed from injury. At the side that big and that strong, and he missed that many games. So Kittle, he's going to be the Derrick Rose of football, man. He's the Derrick Rose of NFL tight ends.
And that's sad because that dude, he loves to block. Like he catches everything. Kid is slick, strong, just.
Kid really run after the catch too.
You need to have more awareness. Like look at Kelsey. Like, I would be watching Kelsey if I was him. I'd be paying more attention to him because Kelsey gets tons of attention, but he's slick with it. You know what I mean? He knows when to deliver the blow. He knows when to duck out. He knows when to get down. And then that's what makes the Chiefs so ill because, like we were saying before, the Chiefs are like the '99 Rams, where everybody got down. We got the rock. This is how much we can get down. There's another play. We'll go another play.
And we all stayed healthy. They stayed healthy that entire year.
Stayed healthy. That's more demoralizing to any defense than you could ever do. Make the play and not get hurt, not get hit. Defense wants to hit you, and they can't hit you. They get frustrated. And so then when they do hit you, they're going to hit you late, which is just penalizing them, which is better for you. So,
Let's go, because I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I've only got 9 games right this week. Because we'll get into all the ones that I swung and missed on, homie. And speaking of swings and misses, just for the fuck of it, and I went with Jacksonville. Mike Glennon, let's go. Mike Glennon.
Yep.
They almost pulled it off, too. They almost did it.
They did. They almost did that. Let me tell you something. I was right there with it. But they couldn't do it.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Justin Jefferson, beast. Monster. So there is a corner that plays on Jacksonville. It's pretty fucking good.
Beast.
Pretty good.
What's his name?
I can't remember. I keep wanting to look him up because every time that I try to pick somebody that's playing against Jacksonville because they suck so much, like the number one receiver just doesn't have a big day. And I'm always just like, who the fuck is over there? But with Minnesota, he can only cover one at a time. They got White Claw and Justin Jefferson. Like, how are you going to – it's the dude, he's got – that's such an ill name.
That's an ill name. I mean, they got Kyle, but I can't wait for Irv Smith to come back because now he's young and fast and now you'll have the three of them running downfield and he'll just control the middle. It's going to –
Well, the last healthy game that Irv Smith played, he had 2 touchdowns.
I'm saying.
So the Vegas game, I wish Dice was here for this one. I really wish he was here for this one.
So, look, this is what I did. Against the spread, I picked the Jets.
Yeah.
I was like, there's 10, I think it was like 10 and a half or some nonsense like that. I'm like, there's no way they're going to lose this game by that much.
Well, they also haven't been playing terrible lately. They just haven't been winning.
They've not. They've been playing hard as hell lately. And then Greg Williams. Oh, Greg Williams.
So let me ask you something.
Greg Williams things.
Let me ask you something. everybody's a prisoner of the moment. Everybody, like Rex Ryan said, it was the worst call he has ever seen in an NFL game.
Oh,
I'm like, do you not remember on the 1 yard line in the Super Bowl not giving it to Marshawn Lynch?
Right. Exactly. Right. Exactly. That was the worst call I've ever seen in my entire life. Greg Williams did exactly what Greg Williams does. If you know his resume, this is what he does. Like, he does this. It doesn't matter. He's like, fuck the situation. I don't care. I want to blitz. Well, see, and that's what I want to do, baby.
The failure of the very last play of the game fails to shed light on the play right before the last play of the game, where Nelson Aguilar was open in the back of the end zone and Derek Carr just overthrew him.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually in that play were in a zone, and Nelson Aguilar still split the safeties and went right through the middle. So I can understand switching to man. What I cannot understand is leaving Nelson Aguilar covered. Well, how are you going to let the undrafted rookie who clocked in a 4.6 cover somebody who runs a 4.2 one-on-one?
That's what I'm saying. Give him no help. That's what I'm saying. There's no way.
It was so stupid. You literally set him up for failure. The kid runs a 4.2. It is impossible for that undrafted rookie to cover him in the modern day NFL because he can't jam him up well enough. And he did. He just went, whoop, and that kid bit on that move so hard. Oh my God.
He would have had to dive at his knees as soon as the ball was snapped.
Yeah.
That's it.
He might as well just tackled him and took the 15-yard penalty and gave him another shot. Shorten the field. You know what? That would have been the smartest thing, Kerry, because it would have shortened the field, which, makes that window way smaller.
That's what I'm saying. I would have been like, oh, he trying to go by me? Nope. I'd have grabbed his ass. That's it. Nope. I'd have held it right in front of the ref. I don't care. Nope.
Especially if you grab him at like the 10-yard mark, because then that's the spot of the foul, because it's pass interference if you only get it at the spot. So even Greg Williams should have been smart enough to have pulled that card out and be like, nah, just fucking grab him, shorten the field. Well,
trip his ass. Don't let him. I do whatever you have to do.
So
I would.
My theory that the Jets are going to keep Adam Gase on to ensure an 0-16 season is going to hold true, because they're just going to pick off every one of the staff that they're going to get rid of in the last couple weeks, and then until it's only him left, and then it'll be like, oh, we'll just keep him. There's only 2 games left or whatever.
And what was most hilarious was post-game when they asked Adam Gase, well, what was that at the end of the game? He's like, yeah, I don't know.
I was taking my headset off.
He's like, yeah, I talked to him. He was like, so what was he thinking? I don't know. You have to ask him. Then they asked the player, and the player was just like, yeah, I don't know why the coach called that one. I don't know. Like, so everybody threw him under the bus. They were like,
So
don't ask me.
That's a failure from the top down. That's a failure in the culture for any of the leaders of the team to not step up and not be afraid to be held accountable for changing the play to the right proper call. That's a failure in the coach, because he said he was taking his headset off, and I kind of get it. Oh, we got this one. There's one play left. We got this. Whatever. He's taking the headset off. No. You wait till the goddamn whistle blows, you idiot. That's why you're 0-12 or whatever it is right now.
All zeros on that clock, baby.
So,
especially you haven't even gotten one yet. You taking the headset off like it's already a done deal. You don't even have one yet in the bag. You crazy.
So but
I saw them throw them all under the bus. I was like, uh-oh. See you, Greg.
So as a player, I'm checking out of that. I don't care. I'm checking out of it. We're checking out. I don't care. This is stupid. We're not doing this.
It's business decisions. It's business decisions. Well, it was business decisions from, I would say, since week 5. It's been business decisions. I'm looking around, especially after they let Le'Veon go. I'm like, oh, okay, shit. I see what this is. Okay. Unless I'm somebody like Brashard Perriman, what you see, he's been playing well these past few weeks, and I'm like, I need to play well enough to get interest from other teams so I can get the hell out of here. Then Denzel Mims, young, he just wants to play. I get that. But if I'm a vet, I'm like, listen, y'all, we see what this shit is.
That mistake on defense, though, man, that is not just on Greg Williams. That's across the board.
Oh, absolutely.
That's across the board for everybody, single player on that team to not be like. Even if everyone in the huddle, Kerry, is just like, I guess this is what we're doing. Once the whistle or the play starts, I'm not doing it. I'm defending the end zone. I'm not doing it. That safety, what are you doing? What are you doing coming down and into the box? Why are you even down there? What
Why
are you
doing?
not
standing on the 10-yard line already? I'm just standing there. Wait. I'm going all the way. I'm going 30 yards back. There's only one thing they could do.
Yo, every other team on the planet takes their best jump ball receiver and puts them in the end zone.
Yeah.
The Jets decided to go cover zero, all-out blitz, including one of the safeties. Incredible call.
I mean, the tight end dropped 200 on you. Aguilar, the play before, split 2 safeties and was open in the end zone. What are you thinking? You're right. I would have been like, look, like even that kid that was on Ruggs, Ruggs, who I would have been like, look, if I looked at the play again, I think he gave Ruggs a 10-yard cushion.
But he bit on that move. Why did you bite on the move?
And again, he bit. What are you biting for? He's not about to run a fucking out. They need a touchdown. What are you doing?
There's 6 seconds left. What are you doing? Like,
why are you biting?
They don't have any timeouts. They need 4 points. Like,
I would first and foremost, I'm giving him 20 to 30. I know my speed. I know his speed, and that shit don't match. I'm giving him 30, and I'm not biting on none. You could do all the fakes in the world. The biggest thing to protect is the end zone, not the sideline. So I'm like, okay, you do all the fakes you want. You waste more time getting to where you need to be. Hopefully your quarterback gets sacked.
But once again, this goes down to players folding under pressure. Because it's just like, all right, when there's when somebody else throws a Hail Mary and the defenders don't just swat it down, they try to pick it or do something, and it gets like it's a catch, and it's just like, I know they told you in the huddle just to swat. I know you go over this in practice, but in the moment they fold. The thought process escapes because it's just like, why did you bite on that move? Why did you bite on that move? And it wasn't Kerry. Here's the funny thing: he didn't even. The move wasn't an out. It wasn't like he broke out to the sideline. He just chopped.
No, it was just like he gave him a little shimmy.
He chopped and he completely broke down. Yeah. And he broke down with like a 6 to 7 yard cushion on him. Like he broke down, and when he broke down, that cushion was immediately ate up like Pac-Man. Gone. 4.27, people. Do you understand how fast that is? Gone. And I give credit.
Because you don't see 4.27 in person, you have no idea how fast that is. TV doesn't do justice. TV doesn't do it.
I will tell you from in-person experience, you can hear 4.27 when they're running. Oh, yeah. They're moving quick enough you can hear it. Just like Josh Allen threw a pass to Cole Beasley yesterday that you could hear.
Yeah, right.
Because there's no crowd, but you can hear it.
I've run track against the Jamaicans in sprints. Listen, it's different. Their speed is different. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I always tell the Eddie Drummond story. Eddie Drummond's first team All-Pro kick returner in the NFL ran a 10.3 in high school, and I'm in the blocks with him. All right, he's seven steps out before I'm even like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know you know what? It's hilarious because I was running an 11 flat at the time. I was a sophomore, right? And that's like moving. 11 flat is very respectable in high school, and he's still 20 meters ahead of you.
They don't even call it running. When you're running that fast, you just floating. It is like, whoa, that kid.
So, a real quick track side note. So, Eddie Drummond, clearly in our area, the Ohio, West Virginia, the tri-state area, was a track legend, right? So they had this one track meet in Ohio where teams from everywhere came. It was a big fucking deal. We were included because we were local, so we got to like go participate with the single A schools. So Eddie Drummond, everybody knows. All right, he's faster than everyone. There was this kid named Jose Cruz, and he was as skinny as you could possibly be, and he had a full bodysuit on. He didn't have the shorts. He had like a full fucking suit on. All right, so they ran the 100 first, right? Boom. Eddie Drummond does what Eddie Drummond does. In front of everyone. Yo, this kid walked Eddie Drummond down in the 100 and beat him at the line. And everybody went silent. Because it's just like, he walked him down. Wow. Yo, Kerry, when the 200 came up, yo, he beat Eddie Drummond by like 30 meters.
That's crazy.
The whole reason I brought it up is when he was running, you could hear him running. It was just like, I've never seen anybody run that fast. Like, it's like Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt's, the gap that he put on other elite sprinters. It was just like, what the fuck is going on here right now?
I mean, I run in pin relays, which is one of the.
I already know, dude. Yeah.
Pin relays, Texas relays.
You were down in Texas, so you have seen some real track speed.
Major events, and I've competed against Olympians, and it's just different. It's just different. It's just, you can't even, if you're not in person to see it, you can't even imagine what it's like. And you can just hear the crowd, especially when someone's getting walked down, because all you hear is, ooh. And you don't want to be the one getting walked down because you are trying. You are trying.
Eddie Drummond was such a big deal at that time that when the 100 meter and the 200 came up, because high school track events, there's shit going on everywhere the whole time. Everything stopped. It did not matter. It was one of those. Everything stopped. Just like Usain Bolt. Everything stopped at the Olympics. Nothing going on in the background. No shot put going on. No nothing. Everyone stopped and turned. Even the officials and everybody wanted to watch this shit.
Hell yeah. Yeah, because you figure like, might break a record.
Yeah.
Anytime someone lines up, and every single time, hey, this could be a record.
Yeah.
Every time they run, that's crazy.
This might be the one. This might be the one.
This might be the one.
Now, I will give myself some track credit before we get back into what we're really here for. The last year that I ran track, in the regionals to go to states, I did beat Quincy Wilson, the former WVU running back who went and played for the Bengals.
Yeah,
I beat him in the 100 and the long jump in the regionals.
Long jump? Oh, I didn't even know you jumped.
Yeah, I was pushing. I was over 20 easy, dude. I have a
like you would go. Light ass, just floating in the air.
Yeah, super light. I had my sophomore year in college, I hit a 40-inch vertical. So in high school was easily in the 30s, and I ran a 4.4 in high school. So speed and literally no weight. Bing. I had no form. I would just jump and.
I was muscling the long jump and high jump. You know what I'm saying? Doing plyometrics and all that other shit.
It was hilarious because I never came close to the board. I was always 2 feet behind it, and everybody always be like, "Oh man, you could get so much farther." I'd be like, "I'm not any good at this. I don't practice. I just run and jump, dude." They literally told me, "Just come and run and jump. You'll probably win, whatever."
That's exactly how I started.
Shit was cool, and I wasn't mad because, those track meets, man, there are a billion girls there. Good God. Good
exactly.
God have mercy. So anyway, back to football, everybody. Another one that I missed because I just went with the wild week, the Indy game. But Houston had it at the goal line. Literally had the game at the goal line.
I felt bad for Deshaun, even though I picked Indy to win. I felt bad for Deshaun. Especially with so many weapons being taken away from him, either through fucking O'Brien or through the idiocy of his own teammates. Yeah, man. I mean, it was just unfortunate. Mishandled snaps happen. Maybe the snap was a little off.
It was, but he took his eyes. You could tell he was looking up.
He's better than that. He knows that.
I think what happened to me, Kerry, I think what happened is he saw a pre-snap read, and he already knew what he wanted to do, and he was locked in. He wanted to get into it, and the snap was low and to the left, and to me, his pre-snap read, because he was looking to the right. And
he saw the win. He saw the dub.
He saw it, and he is better than that, and I do feel bad for him. Is he the new Warren Moon? Is he like this just amazing quarterback that's just going to toil in obscurity for his career?
That would suck. So, the best thing about it is him being an H-Town, because for any of you who've never been to Houston, Houston is dope. Houston is legit. I just say that. So, that's a saving grace, and it's Texas, so you don't pay state taxes. So you making some money. Like, you keeping most of your money. But yeah, man.
Gus Butler. No, that's not Gus.
At this
that's
point,
Dobbins.
though, what is Houston actually playing for? We have to ask ourselves. They're not going to make the playoffs.
No, they know this, so they're not even playing for anything. I think right now it's all you're evaluating the contracts that you have with the players that are on your team, who's a consideration to keep, and then you. So they said that they have brought Deshaun in on the talks for a GM and coach search. So that tells you exactly where they're headed. They are like, all right, we're building around you.
Yeah, you get rid of his best friend, who's one of the best receivers, best players in the damn league. You want to keep him. You don't want to piss him off any further. So, yeah, I bring his ass in, too. That's the smartest thing they've done.
Yeah, you keep him happy because he is special. He is special.
They may lose JJ. If it's up to JJ, I think JJ would stay, but
he's not going to.
I don't know. I don't think he's going to.
No, because he knows it's at the end, and every player at the end they want that title on their resume. Even though he is JJ is one of those players that when he says I'm done, they should just let him go into the Hall of Fame. I hate that waiting period sometimes. It's so stupid.
5 years. I don't get that. I don't know how that was a thing. I don't.
What is all right? So when Tom Brady retires, is it really necessary to debate for 5 years on whether or not he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame?
I don't get that. We know who deserves to be in and who. If you have to wait so, I'll be honest. If it took me 20 years to get into the Hall of Fame, I'd be like, I'm still a Hall of Famer. But at the same time, I'd be like, damn, it took me 20 years. They had to think long and hard. You don't got to think that long. If it takes you 20 years to decide if someone's a Hall of Famer, they're probably not a Hall of Famer.
That's how I look at it. It should be yes, instantly. Like, yes.
Yeah. Like just who we were talking about the other day, Andre Johnson. Easy. Hall of Famer. He's finally going to, now it's up. It's weird. He's been gone for 5 years now. But this year, he's up. And he should be first ballot. I don't even think that's even with the quarterbacks he's had to play with in Houston, and all that bullshit he had to go through, and still put up the numbers he put up, and still fight through injury after injury and come back and still ball. Hall of Famer, easy, first ballot.
I mean, to me, Hines Ward is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He won't be.
He'll have to wait for like year 3, 4 maybe, but he should be first ballot, easy. He's a football player. It's the football Hall of Fame.
Well, not only that, the NFL had to change its rules because of how you play football.
Mm-hmm.
You were 190 pounds, and you were literally ending people's seasons and careers because you blocked so viciously.
I remember what he did to the Bengals, especially. He loved doing it to the Bengals. And they were so mad.
See, that's back in them. That's back in them good old rivalry days where teams actually hated each other.
Yeah, do something. I'm coming for you. He would just laugh. He'd be like, "Do something." I'm here. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here all game. Do something. Stop me.
Incredible.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah,
knocking out defense ends. Beautiful.
I'm not real sure where Houston goes outside of building around Deshaun. It's just the only good thing about it is in the NFL, you can turn things around literally in an offseason.
You can, but
they're not going to because they don't have enough pieces to make a turnaround.
Well, this is what I do. At this point, Coutie's been on that team now for a few years. I'm looking to see. I'm really looking at Coutie to see if he could be a strong number 2. Because I'm still looking for a number 1, right? Will Fuller, you've shown me who you are. You either hurt all the time, Petey, you gone. I'm sorry. Peace. See you later. I mean, they got Brandon Cooks, and Brandon Cooks hasn't ascended to the number 1 receiver. That's very disappointing. So
he physically can't take being a number 1.
So I got to reevaluate that whole situation.
I'll tell you what Brandon Cooks is. Brandon Cooks is a successful Tavon Austin.
Sure, why not? Yeah, and then Randall Cobb, who's on the other side of 30 at this point. I would consider keeping him. To locker room guy, help my receiving core out. He's a low price tag.
Tight ends are solid. Darren Fells, and then the other guy's pretty solid too.
Darren Fells, they're solid. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'd still draft that position, no question.
You always look to improve, but with them, it's all about
solid guy.
You need like a real running back, like a real one.
Yes.
A third down running back would be amazing for Deshaun's career because he never has anybody to check it down to. He's always fucking running around trying to make something retarded happen.
And they got to get better on both sides of the line.
Yeah.
On both, they must get better on both sides of the line. Houston normally does well with linebackers and DBs, but they don't stay long. They bounce.
This is a bad quarterback game. Jesus. I mean, efficiency-wise, 12 for 16, 8 for 10. That means just dump down City, 74 yards and 90 yards at the end of the first half. Jesus, God. 150 yards total.
Hey, this kid Pollard has been getting busy on the returns.
He's been running the ball well, too.
Yeah.
He's been running the ball because when Zeke wasn't running the ball well, this kid was getting busy because he's got breakaway speed.
He does.
So you're seeing that a lot in the NFL right now of running backs breaking long runs.
Yep.
The running backs aren't like you would never see like the 90s running backs breaking 90-yard runs, 75-yard runs. Garrison Hurst did once.
Special. You had to be Barry Sanders. You had to be special.
I mean, Jerome Bettis wasn't going 90 yards, and, Corey Dillon's not going 90 yards, and, like, Robert Smith would because he was fast.
Robert Smith, Marshall Faulk.
Marshall Faulk could, but you know what I'm saying? Like, Eddie George wasn't breaking a 90-yard run because somebody's just going to walk him down from behind easy. These running backs, Raheem Mostert, this kid, these guys are fast.
They sprinters. Oh, yeah, they running. Yeah.
Because they don't even look like – they're not even built like running backs. They're built like safeties. Like, they're lean. They're built like Darren McFadden. Imagine – see, he just came a little early.
Yeah, he did. But, yeah, and his career would have lasted longer if he was in this. But all these running backs that we mentioned in this day and age, they getting their ass lit up and they getting hurt. So – they're not lasting as long as those other running backs from the 90s. You know what I mean?
Well, good thing they're all cheap,
Yeah, because it's been devalued.
Completely. You want to give Derrick Henry $100 million, but then look what Cleveland did to him. You can't stop that and now other teams are like, all right, they figured it out. Yeah. So other teams don't have Sheldon Richardson playing on a contract year, apparently. And then Myles Garrett, who is probably going to end up being the defensive player of the year because he's leading the league in sacks or tied for it, and he's missed multiple games.
Yeah.
So.
Think they'll give it to him?
I mean, they always give the sack leaders always one of the.
They're up there, yeah.
Always. And this year there's outside Aaron Donald who's got the Shaq effect. Yeah, you're the best player on the. Yeah, we know you're better than everybody. We can't just keep giving it to you because honestly, he is tied for the league in sacks, and he's just not. It doesn't look like he's the best player on defense to be this year. Like T.J. Watt's having a great year.
Well, but that's the thing though. But you know football better than that, and you know what Aaron Donald does.
I know, but I'm saying I'm trying to look at it through the eyes of these dumbass voters. And now you understand why he won't, like why Shaq just didn't get the MVP every single year he's playing, because he is the most dominant, most important player. Just give it to him. Michael Jordan didn't get regular season MVP every single year because they just won't do that.
But he's still got, I mean, he's still got like however 5, 6. He's still got multiple MVP. He got 5. I mean, he still got 5. Shaq only got 2.
Yeah, see, it's weird. It's weird. So like they rarely give it to the same.
Nash, while Shaq was playing, got 2 MVPs.
Yes, Shaq will never let that down either. He
will never let that die. And while I love Steve Nash, one of my favorite Canadians, hell no. Hell no.
No.
When Shaq was at his most dominant, hell no. No. Absolutely not.
Yeah, so then I go back to the best player. It's going to be like Gilbert last year. It's going to be the best player or the best defense because there's nobody having that year that's like.
TJ, they slanting TJ this whole way.
Well, I think their defense, if they lose a couple games down the stretch because of the injuries and because of the offensive scheme getting a little bit stale and whatnot, then there goes the awards start to slip away.
Well, remember, TJ still had a good game.
Of course he did. So, but I'm still looking at the Rams' defense statistically is among the top in the league, and Jalen Ramsey he has not had a bad game yet this year. He has dominated everyone in front of him. Yeah, okay, he probably gave up a touchdown somewhere, but whatever.
Yeah,
it happens. He's covering the best players on the planet every week. Like, I got you. Whoever the best one is.
It made it to the league for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, I keep going back to him, but I don't.
They suck, but no one in the league sucked.
No.
They made it to the league for a reason. And it's like when you're playing basketball, you're like, oh my God, that guy sucks. Yeah, go ahead and try to check him. Go to the court. Go to your local court and try to check that dude that you think sucks.
Yeah, watch that guy that you said sucks hit 74 threes in a row. Like, it'll happen.
Like, yeah. I mean, like it's unless you're at the level where you were almost in the league too, and you know what I'm saying, or you just got a couple bad breaks. If you're just a casual observer, you shouldn't say anybody sucks.
Well, Kerry, you know it because you played college football too. You know the basketball team and the football team. The guys are close to each other. It happens.
Oh hell yeah!
The guys are close. Yeah. So
and they all play. Like the basketball players want to play football. The football players want to play basketball, and the football players will talk about more what they done on the basketball court than they will on the football field, and then vice versa.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? All the time.
All the time. Guaranteed. So, Houston. We'll see what's up with Houston. Good win for Indy, though. Keeps them strongly in the playoff hunt, which they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to end up winning their division probably. Another game that I missed, just because it was this week, and I do not like Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury, but I picked them anyway. Fuck it.
Yeah. They've been trending the other way. So
it was just like, that week for me, but dude, I was just like, eh.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, nah, I can't rock with y'all this time. Opposing defenses have figured them out.
Yeah.
And so the only way, you know why? Because they don't run the rock enough. They don't run the rock.
It's crazy because each week a different running back is their feature back. They have 3 running backs that are getting busy. And they just don't run the ball that much. Now, my formula for fantasy, I should have gone with I did this week of picks just to do it because Jalen Ramsey's covering DeAndre Hopkins, so you're going to limit what he does. And then that Williams kid, their second corner is playing extremely well this year.
Lights out. He's playing lights out. Yes, he is. Yes, indeed.
So you're going to look at whoever they're playing against. I don't care if the receivers are good. They're not going to put up big numbers. And plus, you also have Aaron Donald eliminating the middle of the line. You're not running up the middle, and I'm going to put pressure straight up the middle every fucking play. Which means quick throws. And Jalen Ramsey is going to sit on things because he's so big and physical. They have a really good defense. It's just
he's tackling you for no gain, for little minimal gain or loss.
I think that the biggest key for them is that Williams kid stepping up and playing so well, because now you don't have to worry about the other side either. You can completely allow your two corners just to play by themselves, and you know if you've got two that can play man, you have opened up the entire middle of your defense. The safeties can do so much now, and you also have that front four getting busy. So, good defense.
Because I was really concerned. I was like, they lost Marcus Peters, they lost Aqib Talib. I'm like, I know Ramsey's coming in. It would have been dope to see Ramsey and Marcus Peters play together.
Yeah,
that would have been dope. But Williams is doing his thing, and you know they always gonna test the other cat, and he's showing like, okay, keep coming this way. All right. I love that. I love when I see that.
Ooh, CeeDee Lamb should have caught that.
CeeDee Lamb should have caught that. I was looking at that like
he's the only one that jumped. You're supposed to catch that.
Yeah, he's supposed to catch that.
Devontae Adams catches that.
Yeah. Hakeem Nicks catches that.
Yeah, he actually would. Yeah, dude had big hands.
He had humongous mitts. He had catcher's mitts for hands. He just couldn't stay with me.
Another one. See, I had to run games in the middle where I was just off, and we were both off, and I've been waiting to talk about this one, and we can talk about this one at length. The G-Man. I texted you if Danny Dum Dum would have started, I would have picked him guaranteed.
I would have picked the G's immediately, and even with Colts starting, I was going back and forth. I was like
this.
I was like that.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it with Colt McCoy. I just couldn't.
Right. And I was like, okay, Bradbury's probably going to be on Metcalf.
I thought Tyler Lockett would have a big game, and he didn't.
I thought Tyler Lockett might get busy on the other side. That didn't happen. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about a cat who I thought was on the edge of being a bust, but has turned his whole shit around.
That's what happens.
Leonard Williams.
That's what happens when you leave Adam Gase.
Dang. Leonard Williams has been balling. I mean, Alex Smith, clear comeback player of the year. But if it wasn't for Alex Smith, I would give it to Leonard Williams because, hello, this is what you got drafted to be.
All right, so I think the most important cog on your defense, and I don't know where the fuck this kid came from, is that white linebacker. What's his name?
Blake Martinez?
Yeah, where the fuck did he come from? Dude, he's leading the league in tackles.
He was on Green Bay. Like, he was getting busy in Green Bay. He was up in the leaders in tackles in Green Bay for like 4 years.
Boy, they sure could use him in their run defense. What the fuck? Yeah. Why'd they let him
go? He went to Stanford or Wisconsin? Stanford or Wisconsin? He went to either Stanford or Wisconsin.
Well, if he went to Wisconsin, he is definitely a football player. And if he went to Stanford, then he's really smart too. But I didn't know who he was. I was just looking at the league stats, and I don't watch the Giants play that much, especially with Colt McCoy at quarterback. You kidding me? And I just saw his name. I'm just like, who the fuck is this guy? Well, if you got somebody in the middle who is controlling everything, that allows all right, Leonard Williams, you could do your job. You don't have to worry about everything else. I'm going to make every single play behind you. Like, don't worry. Even because you know as well, and I know, of course, every single snap as a defender, you want to be the one that makes the play.
Sure.
But if for Leonard Williams, and especially Aaron Donald is a perfect example, your job most of the time is just to eat up offensive linemen in space and allow other people to make the plays. And Leonard Williams is eating up space right now and also making plays. You know who he's looking like this year? He's looking like Warren Sapp, man.
without the ball skills. But yes, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Because he leans, he's got that forward lean. His body is just leaning forward. Which
I was thinking like, even though he's not as big, or I would say as strong, Haloti Ngata. Because Ray Lewis was like, I need Haloti Ngata. Because I remember when Ray Lewis was getting those guards on him, those tackles on him in the second, he was like, yo, no, we need someone who can eat this shit up. And then when Haloti Ngata got there, Ray was destroying the league. So important. And our secondary play, I mean, another guy, Jabril Peppers, like listen, and this all comes down, honestly, Joe Judge, he has to be in Coach of the Year talks, and that's just not because I'm a G fan. Joe Judge has changed. He's changed the whole environment up in there. He's changed the culture up in there. Now there's expectations that we should win these games in just this one season, where we started off super rough, and then they've been rotating linemen. And then I hated it at first, but now I understood what he's doing. He's rotating offensive linemen, getting everybody a shot. The running game has gotten exponentially better. We got to finally see what Wayne Gallman could do, who comes from a championship pedigree out of Clemson. And, you know, Darius Slayton wasn't looked at as a top-tier receiver. You know, he playing well. Evan Ingram is finally starting to put some games together. You know, it's encouraging. Fucking encouraging. I'll be honest with you. And Danny Dum-Dum, listen, when Danny Dum-Dum doesn't turn the ball over, he's actually a pretty decent quarterback. I mean, as hard as that made out, he's actually decent. And it was because of that. This was the first week I was like, damn, I really wish Danny Dum-Dum was playing. That's the very first time I ever said that.
Well, I look at it like it, and I think Joe Judge will do it if they kind of tailor the offense more around what they have now, because once I saw Danny Dum-Dum run, I was just like, and I tell you, we talked about it, I was like, yeah, why don't they do that more often? He's really fast. Like, what the fuck?
He is fast. He's actually athletic. He's a little clumsy, tripping and shit. He's clumsy, but it's okay. Because listen, Eli didn't run for shit. If Eli ran, it was backwards. So, love that goofy bastard too, but yeah, I mean, I'm encouraged. But Colt McCoy, this is his first win since 2014. I'll tell you something about Colt McCoy, though. Out of all the University of Texas quarterbacks, especially that played under Mack Brown, he's lasted the longest. Mack Brown, who cannot coach a quarterback to save his whole entire life, and he's had Vince Young, Major Applewhite, who was one of my favorite quarterbacks, collegiate quarterbacks ever. Major Applewhite was a G. Chris Sims. He's had all these quarterbacks. None of them really had any sort of success in the NFL. None.
You know, so side note, blunt thought. I've only heard of 2 people ever named Major in my entire life, and both of them are quarterbacks.
See? Yeah, I think you should be a quarterback if your name is Major.
Yeah, both of them beast in college.
Yeah. Beasts.
God,
I love Applewhite.
Could you imagine Major Harris in modern day football? Because he was modern day football 30 years ahead of it. Like, he was what's happening now in the 80s, people.
Do you know how many conversations that each year passes like, man, Major Harris should have got a shot in the NFL. You know how many times that comes up? It comes up at least once a year. Like, man, especially as the offenses have changed and how it's changed over the years and quarterback play and all that. Like, man, Major Harris would have killed this league. I mean, we start thinking about other quarterbacks. I think about Tommy Frazier. I'm like, man, Tommy Frazier.
Yeah, he could have been like an NFL quarterback.
He could have actually maybe done something. I mean, Tommy Frazier was a stronger, he wasn't a faster, but he was definitely a stronger Lamar Jackson. Tommy Frazier was a monster back there. He will run your ass over. He make you feel that pain. Get Tony Rice. And Tony Rice out of Notre Dame. Shit. I mean, yeah. I mean, the list goes on and on. But yeah, man. Yeah, I'm actually encouraged in what I'm seeing. and like I was saying before, I actually do want the Chiefs to make the playoffs. Let them get that taste in their mouth. It's going to get slapped out their mouth by one of these teams. I know it, but also, you know, this is one of those. This is one of those teams. It's not the exact formula of the old Eli teams where, you know, our defense is balling and then we get in the playoffs, wild card, get hot, and then just keep it going.
So right now, if the playoffs started today, they would be hosting the Seahawks.
Ooh.
So you guys could win a first round game. I could see it happening. Now, what I'm really interested in, I think it's your guys' last game of the year, isn't it? Washington.
Yep. No, we already played Washington twice. No,
shit! I would like to see this Washington and a full current version of the Giants play each other. That would actually be a good game now.
That'd be a good game.
It's funny how the NFL is because, and that's why the Patriots were able to be successful for 20 straight years, because they were mastered the understanding that the season is really 2 to 3 different periods. Because teams that get hot in the beginning, or teams that really look at the Giants 0-5, and now look at how they're playing. Complete Washington.
Seattle was undefeated. Remember that time?
And now look at them. They look terrible. You know, and it's just like, it's crazy. And the Patriots understood that, and they always started slow at whatever, 1-2, 2-3, whatever. People were like, oh my God, it's over. And then October hit, and it's just like, all right, it's time to be the Patriots. We know what we have now. Let's do it. So it's weird because it's hard for a team to be just on the whole year. Injuries, especially this year with the Roney. Scheduling changes. You should have known Pittsburgh was about to lose that game, everybody, because their schedule has changed for like the last 4 weeks in a row. They haven't had a bye week, and they're not going to. Like, I don't look for Pittsburgh to even make it to the Super Bowl because of what the scheduling has done to them and the lack of a bye week, because the injuries are starting to mount up.
Honestly, neither do I. No, they're gonna be one of the best teams to not make it, because they showed Mike Tomlin's record. Never had a losing record in his whole time. Mike Tomlin, let's be honest, he's had an amazing coaching career. But they showed one season. Remember that? They were 13-3. They didn't go to the Super Bowl that year. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it is super duper tough. So when the Pats went undefeated the whole season and then still made it to the Super Bowl, you know how amazing that is? Do you know how the old school 70s Dolphins was like, oh shit. They were rooting for the G's like no other.
Well, not only did the Patriots not only did they reel off 16 wins, you guys have to remember that they did it with a purpose. And they were literally putting up 60 points in NFL games and beating teams by 50 and 40 points. So, not only did they go 16-0, they went 16-0, and their average margin of victory was like 34 points or something. It was retarded. It was like collegiate. They didn't even have an off game. And like Pittsburgh had a couple games where they barely snuck it out and only made it to 12. It's so fucking hard. No off week, and the Giants have proven in both of your Super Bowl years, getting hot the last 4 weeks of the year and going on a run and making it to the playoffs with some momentum is all that counts. That 9-10 wins at the beginning of the year and getting a good record means absolutely nothing. Nothing.
And so I know they were trying to say, you know the joke's been going around NFC East and all that, and you could joke and they say, oh, how it's fucked up how there's going to be a 10-win team doesn't make the playoffs because someone with a losing record probably will. Guess what? Rules are what they are right now, and until they restructure this shit, that's what it is. And it's happened before, because guess what? 7 and 9 teams have made runs in the playoffs. Doesn't matter. And they're beating all these 10, 11, 12-win teams, sending them home bye-bye. So,
well, Kerry, another thing that is starting to become a factor is being a road team. All right, so the first couple weeks of the year, especially weeks 1 through 4, it meant absolutely nothing. No fans in any stadiums. The traveling was so restricted. Everybody was dealing with the same shit. So now you have certain stadiums that have 13,000, 15,000. That's a big fucking deal now. Now you have like a real crowd. There's noise being made. The traveling is also becoming a big deal because teams are now traveling on Saturdays. They're flying in Saturday nights and only staying like the day of the game and leaving immediately. And on a long travel, it's gonna suck, dude. It's gonna suck.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that aspect, but yeah, that's true. That's real true.
So you have to factor these things. You have to look at these things going into the playoffs. These last 4 weeks, like now, the home field is actually starting to play, and that's why the Seattle game was surprising because they did have to travel across the country. Now the benefit is they're playing the later game, so it's not the 1 o'clock game traveling across the country, and it's an East Coast game team going west, so their clock is already later. It's not early to them. And Seattle is ultra liberal. There's no fans in the stands in Seattle. That whole state's still shut down. So
and I was just about to say, the 12th man not being present is humongous. They rely on the 12th man in Seattle.
There are certain stadiums in the NFL where it's a huge deal.
Kansas City,
it is a big deal, but their offense is so retarded it kind of doesn't even fucking matter.
But it helps the defense.
Yeah.
It helps the defense. Sure.
Pittsburgh has a home field advantage because it's impossible to kick in that stadium. So away kickers always fuck up there.
I mean, MetLife, well, the old Giants Stadium, it really used to be like that. But yeah, and I was out in Seattle. Let me tell you how real those fans out in Seattle. They have a thing called on Fridays where it's like Seahawk Fridays or whatever, Hawk Fridays. Everybody, I was out on a Friday and everybody, I'm talking hospital workers, sanitation workers, everybody had a Seattle Seahawks jersey on. And I was like, is it really? No, but like for real, it's like this? Yeah. Like their fandom out there is no joke. They all rock that shit. So yeah, they really about that life out there. Oh man, Lamar Jackson.
You also have to, the biggest factor that's going to happen now with we have to start playing with weather.
Mm-hmm.
So
you see what I'm saying now, Lamar? You have to complete this. He's wide open. You got to complete that pass. He looped it to him. He looped it.
If they're going to continue to go with that, then they're going to have to get like Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, wide receivers with incredible hands with a gigantic catch radiuses.
Catch radius, yes.
You have to because he's not accurate.
Little shorties with speed. He needs a big receiver.
They built that team around him having a big arm, like I can throw it deep, and then everyone's like, all right, he completed a bunch of deep passes last year because they all dared him to. We're all going to stack against the run, and he did it. Yeah. And now they're all like, all right, let's just put a safety back there and make sure it's not one-on-one with John Brown or somebody else.
And then also they're bracketing Mark Andrews, who's out with Roney right now, but he basically has no tight end in this game, honestly. They're all out with Rona.
And then Dez happened to, right before the game. Look at how, oh my God, that ball is ugly.
Yes, he looped it. I don't even know how he threw. But again, we have to remember, he's also coming off Rona. So, I mean.
Yeah, but he's like,
He would have done that anyway.
He's got the Cam Newton thing going on to where his arm is just like, it's big. There's some throws where you're just like, damn, he really slung that shit. And he has some throws where you're like, wow.
He has a better arm, though. We know Cam has a better arm.
Yeah, well,
and
yeah.
Cam gets hot, and then Cam will put it on you.
Yeah, but Cam also throws it 5 feet short in the dirt multiple times during the game.
But he also had a huge shoulder injury. Like, yes, true. Because he takes too many hits, and he's leading like this. As a quarterback, you never want to do that. He was taking undue damage to his moneymaker, which made him a hero, which made him Superman in the first 5 years of his career. But now he's feeling it, and it's affecting him on this back end.
I'm trying to think of a funny nickname that goes along with Superman to go with Cam's outfits, but this headache's not. I'm not quick-witted right now because he went from Superman to whatever that is right now.
Oh, well, he went from So if you look at the old Superman movies, he went with them Gene Hackman Lex Luthor outfits. If you just look at those old movies, straight up Lex Luthor dressed like a straight up scrub. Plaid and polka dot and checkered nonsense with a wig on.
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman.
Hackman.
I see you, Hackman.
You'll never stop me, Hackman. I'm so mad at South Park for only doing one hour episode this entire year with all this shit going on. Fuck you guys. So anyway, yeah, the G-Men. You guys... Interesting. Going on a run, momentum going in the right direction, defense playing extremely well. And Wayne Gallman, what a find. Because you guys remember, you guys went through the Devontae Freeman experiment real quick, and that went nowhere.
Also,
Alfred Morris.
Alfred Morris getting to celebrate twice. I was like, okay, I see you. Okay, so it's Saquon. Here's the curse of having someone who you put right up at the top of the mountain, right? Saquon was put at the top of the mountain before he even touched the rock because of what he did in college, and I get that. The curse of that is you don't really build behind him. They got Wayne Gallman kind of like as an afterthought, like it wasn't even the thing. Wayne Gallman was a baller in college, too, a champ. What Saquon didn't taste in college, you understand? And when Saquon went down, I said two things. I said, you know what? This is a lost season for us anyway. It's probably best that Saquon is out and just, he gets to just sit back, watch the game, because for as amazing of a talent he is, he definitely had holes in his game. Because he always wants to bounce the shit outside. He has that Reggie Bush shit. Reggie Bush, when he first got in the league, he wanted to bounce everything outside. He thought this was college, not college anymore, son.
Speaking of other players who would have a ridiculous career in this version of the NFL, Reggie Bush.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, he would crush. He would crush right now. He would look like he was at it. He would look like he was at USC again. Yeah, it'd be ridiculous.
He would have had the career he should have, but he just too early.
But he's still a champion.
Yeah, Brian Dawkins hit him so hard, his soul is still on the turf of the New Orleans Dome. I know you know which play I'm talking about. That swing pass.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
The Wolverine put his claws through his chest. I thought he killed him. I was like, Reggie Bush is dead. He's dead.
Yeah, Reggie Bush was trying to jump over everybody. Like, son, this is not going to work in this league like that.
So a funny story on that. So my sophomore year, before I blew out my shoulder, we had this running back from Ohio come in who ran a 4.3. He was really fast. We were the only two people who ran a legit timed 4.3 in that camp. And one of the first scrimmages, they put him in with the ones, and they ran a toss with him, and everybody was like, oh shit, because you could see it. He was moving. But he couldn't beat me to the corner. And I beat him the corner, and he goes, I still remember him. He just looked at me, he goes, oh shit, this is a little bit different, isn't it? And I was just like, yeah, and I'm not even the fastest person, so get used to it. So the league is a whole different thing. It's just like Reggie Bush got there and just like, man, these linebackers are running 4.6s now. What the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's funny. I'll do a quick high school story too, because I remember there was one high school team out in Long Island called Kellenberg, right? And the whole week, coaches were talking about this one running back. I forget the kid's name. Oh, 4.340, 4.340, 4.3. Oh, you better keep it in front of you because if he gets behind you, 4.340. And I'm thinking like, and at this point in time, I didn't have an official 40 time because I would always miss the 40 in high school, right? But I was like, this kid is not faster than me, and I know that. But I was like, okay, 4.340, all right. And I was playing safety that game. So I was like, okay, we'll see. Opening kickoff, kick the ball off. I run down, and so he's looking at me. I wasn't huge at all. I didn't get bigger until I got to college. But he's looking at me, and instead of trying to use his speed, he thought he could run over me. But the thing about it is, when you also have speed, it doesn't matter. And it was like this. Bang! Boop!
Physics. It's physics.
And then he got up. He was like, oh, shit. Good shit, yo. I was like, I'm here all day. Yeah, it's just different. Like, speed will negate a lot of shit.
Yeah, we did have in college, we had a kid who never played football before. He was a track kid. He had, I swear to God, his body was shoulders, torso, and his legs started here. Like, it was all legs, dude. So, and he ran a 4.27. Like,
yeah,
it was like a big deal. Couldn't catch for shit. But if he did get his hands on the ball, and it was just like one of those track guys, but he couldn't catch for shit. But yeah, that 4.27 was going back to seeing a 4.27 in person. You could hear him running down the field. That shit is.
Yeah, so I feel like this is a great redshirt year for Saquon. So he can really start looking at them inside runs. Because look, Saquon is a bigger back than Wayne Gallman. Wayne Gallman almost exclusively runs inside, and he's a tough motherfucker. He's tough. He's taking that shit, and he's more slippery than what people realize. We've had Wayne Gallman on the team. They were signing Devontae Freeman. They were looking at it. I was like, that's the second thing. I was like, we have Wayne Gallman. He should be the one getting the rock right now.
So that goes to question what's going on in practice that they don't see this. Do they don't see this in practice?
Well, he did say he did lose confidence in himself at certain points because, again, he came from winning the chip in college, so he's like, "Yo,
nice kick, nice kick, Greg the leg,
a leg piece of crap." But
this is what you get. This is what you get for picking Dallas. This is your karma.
I know it is. I know. Every time I've picked them this year, they failed. Every time. But he lost confidence in himself. That's why confidence is everything. He lost confidence, and he wasn't running as hard. He was slipping, but then he started getting that shit back. Since he's gotten his confidence back, now we're seeing the real Wayne Gallman. And this is who they drafted. So it's really crazy to say this, but it's probably the best thing that could have happened is for Saquon to get hurt this year, especially during Rona, so that we could see what else there is. Now we have a legit number 2 back, and now Saquon can see how Wayne is getting busy, and he's going to realize, you know what, I can have some success with some inside runs. I don't need to bounce everything outside. And that doesn't really come to a lot of these running backs who have the speed and athleticism, who go outside all the time, until they lose some of that speed. Emmitt Smith is the perfect example. Emmitt Smith knew he never had breakaway speed. And so he ran inside all the time.
Well, plus,
Saquon, and he would have breakaway runs.
Saquon has to look at the fact that, that Gallman can get busy. Now, if you want to have a 12, 15-year career, if possible, now you don't have to have 400 carries and touches a season.
Exactly. Yo, he's my dog. He got my back. And, Wayne is the type of dude, he would stay rocking. He would stay rocking with the G's. You know what I'm saying? He would. I think, and this is the biggest thing, everyone has bought into Joe Judge. That's the hugest thing right there.
Word.
I told you early on, I was like, Joe Judge, special teams. I was like, but I was like, I don't know this guy. Let's see. I just need to see Ozzie.
Well, see, this would be a good Belichick protege would be the special teams coach, because Belichick is so special teams oriented. You're going to spend a lot of time with them, and not just like a coordinator who rode the coattails of success of the team constantly winning 12 to 15 games a year.
So I do watch the Giants, Giants program and all that. And so he does. So I watch Joe Judge Corner and all that. And so the way he breaks down the tape, I mean, I'm like, this dude, he knows what the fuck he's talking about.
All right, so if you guys don't know, a special teams player, like the punter or kicker, typically the punter is usually the emergency quarterback unless somebody played quarterback in college and you have them at wide receiver or something. And then the special teams coordinator is usually the most important coach outside of the head coach because they are the one who always understand game management, field position, and time. They always are on top of that shit because it's part of their job. Like, that's all they do.
When they know just the right time when it's time to call a trick play. Fake punt, whatever the case may be, fake run.
Situational awareness through the roof.
Situational football, which have to know situations all the time. That's why Greg Williams is out of there. Like, your ego, fucking put your ego in a basket and lock it up. Situational football dictated a different play. Period.
100%.
Period. Leave your ego aside. Situational football dictated a different play. And if you're playing to win, you're playing the situation. That's why New England has been the best at it for 20 fucking years. Because he knows situational football.
Not even just situational, Kerry. Even just roster knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I know this kid runs a 4.6 and he's an undrafted rookie against somebody who has been clocked in at a 4.2 and it's the second fastest player in the NFL. What am I doing? With no help over top. 6 seconds left, 47 yards away. You're fucking retarded. This is why you don't have a job anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you don't have a job. So,
and never got a job again. Especially, it was surprising he got a job at the Bounty Gate. Never got a job again.
No, he won't. This is it. He won't. He's gonna have to go to college somewhere, to like northwest New Mexico State or something. You know,
Northwest South New Mexico State.
Some program that literally was suspended for like the past 10 years for like violations and shit, and they have no scholarships and no postseason chances for like the next 10 years. That's who hires Greg Williams.
I love that.
100%. No academic standards at that school.
I want to talk about a team who's on a bye this week, Tampa Bay, because what Tampa Bay team do we see coming out of the bye? Is what I'm interested to see. Because now you've had a week off. Are we going to see more run? Are we going to see more AB? And then what is this defense going to look like coming out of the bye?
Well, okay, so since I'm a surrogate Bucks fan this season.
Yeah. Well, I'm asking you.
Yeah. So what's going on and what should happen is you have to look at it's all matchup oriented. So the first game coming up this week is the Vikings.
Yep.
So Xavier Rhodes, is he still playing? No, he's in.
He's with the Colts.
Yeah, he's with the Colts. Who do they have now? They got a corner who's getting busy.
Oh, for the Vikes?
Yeah. They got a corner who's playing well, and then they got the Harrison.
Harrison.
Well, yeah, he's been playing. He's been playing at his level that he's always playing.
At his level, because he's always dope. Hall of Famer, easily.
So, and then they have Atlanta twice. So they got Atlanta after this game, and then Atlanta closed the season, and then I forget who the other team is in between. I think it might be Detroit or somebody. But it is, realistically, they should go on a 4-game run right at the time where they need to gain momentum, end up with 11 wins, probably. It's going to be either the 3rd or the 5th seed, depending on, what else happens around them. But they need to run the goddamn ball but what did I say? Whenever they started to run the ball, the most underrated move in the NFL was moving A.Q. Shipley into the starting lineup at center. He had a career-ending neck injury 2 weeks ago, and they basically haven't ran the ball since then. Career-ending. It's over. He'll never play again. Yeah, it's over. They already told him you'll never play again. If this happens again, you might not walk. It was one of those, his neck got pinched, and he's had a whole... Yeah, he's had a whole lifetime of that shit happening anyway, and it pinched, and it's over. He'll never play again. So his career is over. Not only do you lose the physical nature that he brought to the offensive line, you also lose the leadership and the knowledge because he's been in Bruce Arians' offenses almost his whole career. Huge loss for them, and that's why they're not running the ball anymore, and that's why Tom Brady's getting pressure up the middle, and there's no time for these 5-second patterns that Bruce Arians calls to open up, and it's just not working. So they're going to need to make an adjustment. You do actually need to use AB way more in the middle. Slot him up, please. And then Chris Godwin has to be more of a focal point instead of Mike Evans, because Mike Evans, He's now your home run threat and your red zone threat, so you just take shots with him. You don't have to feed him 15.
Have him be your Gronk, and have Gronk be Gronk 1A. You know what I mean?
What you do with Gronk now, you have Mike Evans in the red zone. So what you do with the loss of A.Q. Shipley is now you put Gronk on whichever side of your line is the strongest, and now you run through that gap instead of through the middle, and that's what you focus on because he loves to block, and he's the best blocking tight end we've ever seen. So let him do it. I know he's lost like 20 or 30 pounds, and he's not like throwing people into the stands anymore.
He's not mauling people, but he's still effective as fuck.
Yeah, he's still better than almost every single tight end in the NFL blocking, and actually still better than a lot of tackles at blocking on the edge still. So as far as defense goes, dude, that secondary sucks. Their corners suck.
You got Dean, you got Carlton Davis Jr. I mean, the best one is Winfield. We know that.
But he's playing safety, so you got these two kids on the outside are just getting toasted. They're playing okay against okay competition, right? They do have a lot of pass breakups because everyone's trying them, and Dean has like 6 picks because everyone's trying them. But when they play elite level receivers, they're not on that level, not even close.
Exactly. Yeah.
The pass rush needs to get there quicker somehow. That's what needs to happen on defense because you cannot expose these two.
A name that we haven't really called this year, that we haven't really heard this year, rather, is Shaq Barrett. And we just remember 2 seasons ago, he was a monster. He was killing it.
Yeah.
Not even just 2. Last season.
Last season, he led the NFL in sacks.
The famous James there. Uh-oh. Really? Is that another tutty? Oh, yeah, it is.
See, your stream is much faster than mine. That's hilarious. Oh, what a see. That is a good throw.
Yep. Boop. Now he's getting it to the wide receivers. Finally.
That was actually a good throw.
Was.
See, he's on the move though. That's
looked it off. Then he got off, and then he went to his nice.
Good throw.
Whoop! Ooh, lost him in the sauce. Oh shit.
Surprised he didn't get flagged for that.
Oh, lost the shit out of him.
Got him. Too fast. He's too fast. He just beat him to the point.
Hollywood. Yeah.
After 5 yards, you can't touch him anyway. That was easy. So
now your 2 receivers, Boykin and Brown, got touchdowns. This is actually every offensive team going against Dallas has encouragement. So, you need to get your offense back on track. Let's face Dallas. Because now this may actually be the first game in quite some time where both of the Ravens starting wide receivers have touchdowns in the same game.
Yeah, what happened to Willie Snead? Is he not playing? Is he got the roadie or something?
I don't know.
I haven't seen him in the last couple of weeks, and that's a huge loss for their offense because he was their leading receiver.
Willie Snead is out. Willie Snead is out.
Yeah, that's been a huge problem for them because it's not that he's that good. All right, it's that Lamar has such a rapport with him. All right, so just like Drew Brees. Drew Brees had a rapport with Snead. All right, so Kerry, I know you know this. So for everybody watching that doesn't know that much about these small subtleties of football. All right, so if a starting quarterback goes out, and then the backup comes in, and he plays okay, even if you have stud wide receivers, and then all of a sudden he kind of like goes on a little run. It's always to like the third and fourth receiver, right? Why? Because that's who he plays with in practice all the time. He already trusts them. He has the timing down. And you'll see these no-names start putting up big numbers because now they have the guy that they have worked with all season and for sometimes years together. And it happens every fucking time. Every time. Every time. It's just...
They even know because they talk about it. They're like, yo, it's about to be on.
Yo.
Because they both like, I haven't got my shot. You really haven't gotten your shine. We about to fucking fuck this shit up. Watch this.
Yeah.
And then they go and then they do work. And then everyone is like, well, where's this guy been? How come this guy hasn't been? He's been in the entire time. Been there the entire time.
Well, I mean, if you put him in with those ones, he's probably not going to be that effective because
he's not going to be that effective. Exactly.
Listen,
everybody's a backup for a reason. There's only a few occasions where someone has emerged and then they should have been starting. Only a few occasions. People are backups for a reason. Let's make that very clear.
Yeah, and sometimes like with Fitzmagic, it's not that you're a backup. Fitzmagic is what I would refer to if we're watching baseball as a closer.
Sure.
He's not a starter, and he's not really a backup. You kind of want to, but you're going to put him in if you want a spark because it's going to happen. So speaking of a spark,
he's a different thing. Yeah, he's a different thing, right? Because he's lasted in this league so long, and he's been going back and forth between starter, back. Look, and then even if we just look, you know what? Fitzy could have easily played in the 70s, 80s, where quarterbacks used to have to sit for years before they got in. Perfect example, Jeff Hostetler. You know Jeff Hostetler well.
WVU.
He was a backup. He was backing up Phil Simms years. It was 7 years before Jeff Hostetler got to really start a game. You understand what I'm saying? And then he won a chip. And then he wanted to continue to play, but New York wasn't just going to give him that. For some reason, they were in love with Phil Simms, whatever. But then he got to Oakland when the Raiders were in Oakland, and he balled. I mean, these guys, look at Rich Gannon. Rich Gannon was a backup for years. He, too, went to the Raiders, and he balled, went to a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Bono was a third stringer. Look how good San Francisco was. Steve Young was a backup. Bono was a third stringer. All of them Pro Bowlers. All of them.
Here's a good example of it. Here's a weird example of it, and it's the Adam Gase effect. Ryan Tannehill. Because he goes to Tennessee and is sitting behind Mariota as now the backup, and now he gets to start and absolutely balls the fuck out.
Absolutely balls. And now you get to see Tannehill. See, this is one of the rare examples where a receiver becomes a quarterback.
Well, he was a quarterback first.
Tannehill was a receiver at Texas A&M.
He went there as a quarterback first. So he played quarterback in high school. But he did play receiver at Texas A&M. And then he didn't even enter the draft as a receiver. He went back and it was incredible. What a weird fucking path he took.
And now we see he's balling at quarterback. And he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
Smart. smart guy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but you also see that whenever King Henry is derailed, he doesn't play that well. Ryan Tannehill just doesn't have that. He's really good and accurate, but he's like what Alex Smith used to be. When Alex Smith, before he got hurt, it was playing really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Very accurate. It helps that you have A.J. Brown, because you look at some of Ryan Tannehill's numbers. Oh, he had a 77-yard touchdown. Well, no, that was a slant that A.J. Brown ran through 3 people and ran for 77 yards. So,
and I'll give you that. But I'll also say this, though, because there have been games where King Henry has been slightly off and Tannehill did step up, but then the game came down to a fucking field goal.
Yeah.
And your boy Gosowski couldn't fucking hit it.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to take anything away from what Tannehill's doing, because he is playing extremely well. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL for the past 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you like it or not, the only thing, I have this bias against him because of Todd McShay and his draft report and what he said about Ryan Tannehill and all the other quarterbacks in that draft.
Wait, what did he say?
He said Ryan Tannehill was going to have the best NFL career of any of these quarterbacks in the draft.
Sure did.
Dude,
he
was all.
I mean, but come on now. That's Todd. As Mel would say, Todd. Come on, Todd.
Everybody
Todd.
was like, "Come on, dude." He's like, "Nah." And I was just like, "Yo, come on, man, get." Oh,
Don't take Todd McShay seriously, though.
No, he's doing the Skip Bayless thing where he's only going to say the
Exactly.
Max Kellerman, where I'm going to say the opposite of what everybody else says just to be the devil's advocate.
But actually, I will give Skip some props. Since he's been paired up with Shannon, he's really been different. He's really tamped that whole shit down.
Fuck Skip.
He's still Skip, but I mean, he's been different. He's really calmed that shit down. I don't even really hear Skip anymore. Now it's Max and fucking, and then.
Don't even say his name. Don't get started on that.
I can't even with him.
This is why.
The fact that he's from fucking Hollis. I'm from Bushwick, but I grew up in Hollis. But it's like, come on, sir, stop claiming Hollis, yo. Stop.
Yo, so this is exactly why I watched the Pat McAfee show, because I just can't listen to Shannon and Skip yell at each other, because Shannon just yells about everything, and it's just like, stop yelling.
Well, at least Shannon has like some Hennessy on the side. At least I rock with Shannon. But that other cat, Steve, you know who I'm talking about. Pontificating, motivating, devastating with the
You forgot bloviating, his favorite word.
Bloviating. I can't, man. I can't. I try, but I met him one time. I was like working this event, and I was about to talk. I was about to just say, and this was during the time when he had a show, and I was like still interested in like going that route, because I was going sports broadcaster route, and I was actually was interning at one of the CBS affiliates down in Houston, and I was still interested in it. Matter of fact, I got to interview some old Oilers. I got to interview Hayward Jeffries, Duncan, and my man Chris Dishman, who used to be one of the illest runners in the league.
I'll give you a 60.
All their sons was playing in the little, in the Pee Wee League Super Bowl, and so I was asking them how it felt like to have their sons like playing the Super Bowl and them getting so close and so like I'm like interviewing and shit, I'm like doing my little thing. So it was dope, but I wanted to speak to Chris Dishman the most because we played the same position. I was like, Chris, he was ill, son. Like I just got to like give him props in person because Chris Dishman was
what a dope football name too.
Chris Dishman, yeah. Oh, he was dope, son. Dope, son.
Yo, so I'll give you a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. My cousin is a cameraman for the Oilers / Titans.
Mm.
And he was always field level filming team footage, and he traveled with the team. So, yeah, man, probably might have walked the same sideline as 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
I mean,
he's
we
probably
might
out there.
Look, I was in H-Town when Yao Ming first entered the country, and I got to be there for that. I was in the locker room during the Texans' first year, and I got to stick my fucking, you know what I'm saying, and like recording device up in David Carr's face right on the week when they were about to face the Jacksonville Jaguars, which had the fucking most savage defense, and and Carr at that time was the most sacked quarterback, and I was just about to ask him like, so, what are your plans this week
for John Henderson? Yeah, what you got, John Henderson over there? What are you gonna do?
John Henderson and Tony Brackens and go, but everybody else was asking. You know, I'm a young rookie, so I was just like, I was about to ask the question, but I like paused and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let everybody else handle it.
Yo, that would have been so ill. You have watched. This has been Sports Center. Up next is Stuart Scott, and
you know what I'm saying?
Alex, whatever his name is, Van Scott or Pelt or whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh, Scott Van Pelt.
Scott Van Pelt.
So I'm gonna tell you,
this is my watch Sports Center with Kerry Height.
My mentor at that station, he left, went to ESPN because his agent also represented Kenny. Was it Kenny Mayne? Not Kenny Mayne. Oh, Buchagras and somebody else, and he was like, "Give me your tape. I'm gonna give it to my agent." But at the same time, I had booked a national tour for a play, and I was like, "You can't do both." I was like, and I went the acting route instead. And the first story my mentor got when he got to ESPN, the Kobe Denver trial. We're gonna call it the Denver trial. We know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But so I was like, yo, I'm like, that's my mentor, y'all. Like, yo. And that was his case, and that shit was crazy. So,
so another 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I was I wouldn't say strongly considering it, but the Art Institute being in Boston had a direct pipeline to ESPN. So a lot of engineers would go work at ESPN. So, and me being straight out of playing college football, literally dropping out and going there, I was just like, man, I can go work at ESPN. This would be dope as fuck. Hell yeah, but I want to make rap music, man.
I know. ESPN was the dream. Like, I was like, I could talk about this shit all day long, but then something else called. The arts called.
Yeah, completely. So another, there's two easy picks, 2 easy games, easy ones. You're looking at basically probably a Super Bowl preview realistically. Green Bay and Philly, easy one. But the reason I want to talk about Philly is that is the best Jalen Hurts has thrown the ball ever. Ever.
So let's talk about it. Okay, let's get into it.
He's getting better. That means he's improving.
The best thing that could have happened to Jalen Hurts was Tua. Let me explain this. Tua got there as a heralded passer coming out of Hawaii. Like, they knew what they were getting into, right? Saban knew what he had in Tua. You don't put in your freshman quarterback in a national championship game to bench your all-world quarterback, even though he's not like throwing like that, but like whooping teams all over the nation, unless you know what you have in this cat. Tua wins. Okay, we know what happened the next year when Jalen got in and then won them the SEC championship when Tua got hurt. But he saw the writing on the wall. He skipped. He knew he had to bounce. Goes to Oklahoma. Heisman-like season, right? Where he threw the ball way more than he ever threw it in Alabama. He threw the ball way more.
Side note, in going to Oklahoma, look who you get to go sit and play and learn how to play quarterback from instead of Nick Saban's tutelage, where you are now looking at a guy who won back-to-back Heismans at quarterback.
Lincoln Riley.
So now you got to develop under Lincoln Riley, and look at the improvement. This is what's going to happen, Kerry. All these openings in the NFL, and Jalen, everyone's seeing, because it was instant. You could see it instantly. I saw it the first throw. I was like, oh, that's a real throw. He's not He's not one of those quarterbacks anymore. He's like, he figured it out. And Lincoln Riley's phone is probably blowing the fuck up.
Oh,
it already has been, but it is probably like, and this would be the year to go. Fuck it, leave college. The Roni, who cares? Fuck it. Every player on your team will be granted transfer waivers because of the Roni. No one cares.
Oh, and also let me tell you, because Jalen wasn't playing with a super dominant defense, because Oklahoma's defense, they just perennially suck.
It's Big 12 football.
Baker had a suck defense. Kyler had a suck defense. Like, if Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray had a good defense, they win national championships. I'm not even like for real. Oklahoma wins national championships if either one of those guys has an actual good defense. Because Baker Mayfield had Georgia beat, but the defense fucked it up. Kyler Murray was balling against Alabama. The defense sucked. So,
well, I want you to name me.
Jalen had to throw the rock. He had to throw the rock.
Name me one Oklahoma defender that you can remember not named Roy Williams. See how hard that is? They don't play. It's the Big 12. They don't play defense. They literally don't play defense in the Big 12.
Brian Bosworth.
Exactly. Point proven. He
Right.
has an easy game, but Jalen Hurts, and he got to start. He's getting. They already named him.
When he scrambled out to the right and he hit Greg Ward, you bitch, Cougar.
Beautiful.
Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Dropped it right in on him. And also notice this: Jalen Reagor, rookie, scores on that punt, right? Return. Wentz goes up to congratulate him. He's like, yeah. Jalen comes up. Reagor goes right to Jalen. And I was like, oh, it's already begun. Oh, it's begun. They're already like, well, okay.
Going back to the point that I brought up earlier, you're looking at Jalen Reagor looking at being a disappointment, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a rookie, he's had a disappointing rookie year, but considering there's other wide receivers that are rookies who are absolutely balling. Mm-hmm. So Jalen Hurts gets in the game, and all of a sudden Jalen Reagor has a big game even after the punt return becomes relevant because he's a rookie. That guy's a rookie. They work together. They've been since rookie camp or whatever. They building a rapport already. So Jalen Reagor is now going to be a factor for the last few weeks of the season.
The energy of the team shifted once they clearly saw, okay, you're not putting Hurts in just for a series or a play. You're putting him in, and you've benched Wentz. Okay, the energy shifted, and they were playing fucking hard.
Yeah, so he's already been named the starter for this week.
Look at that shit.
See how quick that was? They didn't even hesitate on the $100 million they still owe Wentz. Who cares? Whatever.
Pennsylvania. Look at that shit. Are they what now? Now let me ask you this: do they have the nuts to pull a Seattle when? Remember when they sent? I can't even forget.
Matt Flynn.
I can't. Matty Flynn over. He signed that $45 million deal, and then the third rounder, Russell the Love Muscle Wilson, took over.
They will because Doug
Carroll was like, I don't give a fuck who we paying what.
Doug
gives us the best.
Doug Peterson's going to have to do it because if he sticks with a bad playing Carson Wentz, he's going to lose his job. So if you switch to Jalen Hurts and Jalen has even moderate success, even if they compete in these games, now they're going to be like, well, let's see what you can do with this kid now. The problem is Carson's contract. Next year, his contract, the cap hit for Philly next year is something like $48 million, dude.
And I get that, but I will tell you something. You know what will make Jeffrey Lurie feel better about that? If you start winning games, you start winning fucking games, and they drafted him. You don't think Jeff Lurie signed off on that? Whatever they saw in Jalen Hurts, whatever it was, they decided to take him in the second round. You don't take this cat in the second round unless you plan at some point in time to use him. You know what I'm saying? Which is what happened in Baltimore when they had Joey Flacco Rita, even though Joey Flacco was way older than what Pennsylvania is, and they got Lamar Jackson in the second round. But what I'm saying is this. You know what one of the main problems is in Philly? Is that Wentz was changing the plays. He didn't give a fuck about the plays that they were trying to call. Hurts will listen to these plays. They have someone who they can actually coach now. So that changes the whole dynamic for the coaching staff and their now starting quarterback.
All right, so this is what I do.
He's really starting to do better just on that front alone. I don't know. I think Wentz is – I mean, they can't move Wentz.
All right, so this is what you do. All right, this is what you do as a GM. You're like, we always say we would be good GMs because some of these GMs fucking suck. They don't understand football. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at it both from a football standpoint and from a numbers standpoint. Mm-hmm. The reason that it's not that bad is because their quarterback room combined is like every other quarterback room salary-wise in the league. There's one guy making a bunch of money and then people not making anything. You've got Jalen Hurts on a rookie deal. He's making nothing. So it's not like you have to all of a sudden pay Jalen Hurts $20 million a year to start and you're still eating up this contract from Wentz, which you're not going to be able to trade because no one's going to pay him that much and have him be a backup. So what somebody needs to do is somehow convince Wentz to just stay in Philly and be the backup and wait for your opportunity and continue to develop as a football player because, A, you're going to get all of your money and you're going to be a backup no matter where you go. You already know this system. They'd be comfortable with you already knowing the system. And we know that somewhere in there is an MVP caliber quarterback. We've seen it before.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that Pennsylvania should Nick Foles it?
Yes.
Boom. There it is. Look, Nick Foles did, and he became a fucking Super Bowl champion.
He should, and if it's the NFL. You already know if there's an injury or whatnot, your shot is there. Like, it happens so many times.
It's going to come back around.
There's no team in the NFL that is desperate enough to make Wentz a starting quarterback next year.
Correct.
So he's going to be a backup. He has to understand that. So you might as well just stay where you're at because then you can keep all of your money. And, you could probably you can restructure your deal possibly with them. I wouldn't. I'd be like, no, I'll stay here and be the backup happily. I'm getting all my money, though, because you don't have to pay Jalen anything.
What is the best job we've always said is in America? Backup quarterback. Best job in America. Point blank period. You can't convince me any different. Best job in America.
Unless you're Aaron Rodgers and you're sitting behind Brett Favre and you're Aaron Rodgers and you're just like, come on, man. But Green Bay used the old school 80s, 70s. They used the old school like you need to sit and wait. Also, we're talking about a 3-4-time league MVP. It's Brett Favre, people. It was Brett Favre.
Brett Favre.
And honestly, Aaron Rodgers would not be who he is had he just been thrown into the league and made start immediately.
He needed that
because
it worked out. Like, listen, I'm not crying for Aaron Rodgers. Shit worked out perfectly for him. Okay?
Well, if you're too young to have watched Brett Favre play at his peak, and you're watching Aaron Rodgers make all these off-platform weird throws and whatnot, he got that from Brett Favre, and he actually said it last Tuesday. He was kind of throwing shots at everyone who's giving Patrick Mahomes all the credit for the no-look pass. He just they act like nobody's ever done that before. And he's just like, I've been doing it for years, and I actually got it from Brett Favre, who was always doing it. So, he learned so much from Brett, and you could see it. It's just Aaron has the accuracy that Brett never had because Brett just had the arm power. I'm just going to force it in there. Fuck it.
Muscle that shit in. Yeah.
And he did a lot.
He did a lot. Listen, Brett changed the whole fucking shit. He changed the whole temperature in Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? And then Aaron just like kept it and kicked it up another notch. And then, but if we want to keep it super funky, as dope as Aaron is, Green Bay was never hotter than when they had Brett.
No.
Like those Brett Favre years.
Well, it also helped that during their Super Bowl run that they had the Minister of Defense at the front line, because that's dictated their entire defense. Trust me, there's no way that he's not dictating.
I would say that was one of the most important and illest free agent signings in the history of the league.
Well, that was the first big one. That was the first one that was like, that made free agency what it is now. You had a player go to a team and change a team.
Right. You've never seen that before that happened. That was fucking incredible. And trust me, I knew plenty about Reggie White because he used to fucking devastate us in the NFC East. I was happy to see his ass go. Bye. But when he went out there, I was like, oh shit.
You want to talk?
Gonna win. Yeah.
You want to talk about a player who was just different. All right, there are some players who are just God made them different, and God made him different. I'm sure he worked out. It's the NFL. You need to work out. But he seems to be like somebody who just didn't need to. He was just built like that. But, how do you just
Bo
take
Jackson.
Yeah, Bo Jackson, Randy Moss type. Like, yeah, I was born.
Yes. See ya. 375-pound man. See ya.
How are you literally shot putting 400 pounds of force like it's nothing all day long? Best tackles on the planet. Get out of here. Like it's nothing.
Paperweights. It was amazing to watch.
See,
amazing to watch.
That's one.
You think about it. Santana Dotson. Remember that? Remember him?
Leroy, the safety, Leroy.
Oh yeah. Oh, and who was the grave digger? Talk about who was just a.
And then also an underrated. This is my football knowledge runs deep, people. The second half of his career, not Lorenzo Neal, but the D tackle Neal that always wore the visor, did the home run celebration. Played in Kansas City first. His last years were during that Green Bay run.
Oh, you mean Neil Smith?
Was that his name?
Who played in Kansas City with Derek? Derek?
Yeah, the dude. Yeah. He had the visor on the defensive line. He always did the home run swing was his celebration.
Yeah, that was Neil Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on that D line too.
You also think about Leroy Butler, number 36. Leroy.
Yeah,
Butler.
Two safeties were dope there. They had two good safeties. The Minister of Defense when you got a name like that, then you know what?
And they had one of my favorite. They had one of my favorite running back fullbacks out of Florida State, Edgar Bennett. Edgar Bennett was a man. You talk about like a guy who just had tools, who could run, who could catch, who could block, who was just a Swiss Army knife at that position. Edgar Bennett was like the guy before they got Dorsey Levens and then all these other guys. Edgar Bennett was that guy.
Yeah, don't forget everybody's most hated tight end.
Chewy.
Yeah, Mark Chimera.
Chewy the molester.
Yeah.
Don't send your babysitters.
So another easy game to pick. I will give Denver's defense credit though. They have been playing well all year.
Well, let me tell you this. That game was that was a 14.5 point. Denver was 14.5 point dogs. And I got to give Denver's defense mad credit. And also, Drew Lock, let's just say this. Drew Lock has a douchebag face. I'm just going to say that. He just looks like that fucking piece of shit douchebag that you're just like, I wish, who invited him? Let's just say that. I just want to get that out. I don't know this kid worth a damn, but he just has that fucking face.
He's a piece of shit, but he makes throws that you let him get away with it.
keeps Denver in games closer than what you think they should be. He has arm talent, and I give him that. So him being in the game changed the whole trajectory of the shit. And so
Well, Melvin Gordon was running all. KC's run defense sucks, so Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon having a monster game really absolutely.
Was it in
helped.
Kansas City or Denver? Because I did not watch that game.
I watched it. I don't even know. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I mean you know if it's
this year,
if it's in Denver, the altitude is an issue.
Because there's no fans. Humphrey hurt. Oh, that's bad for Baltimore.
No, I only look at the altitude issue in Denver. That's it. Just the altitude.
I know that, but with there not being fans, I just haven't really been because I always ask you. I'm like, where are they playing? Because I haven't paid attention as much because there's no fans. Because I know certain stadiums. Yes, Denver is the outlier because they have the altitude thing.
I think they're playing well enough for Vic Fangio to get another year as head coach. I think they'll give him another shot.
Well, let me tell you something. Vic Fangio should not be fired. He should not be fired. First of all, you lose your number one receiver in Cortland Finnegan. Cortland Sutton. Straight out the gate.
Shout out to Cortland Finnegan.
But also Cortland Finnegan, who did get his ass whooped by Andre Johnson, but was a dog though. What was a dog? Cortland Finnegan got that ass though. He was a dog.
He wasn't afraid to catch that ass whooping.
I'll be honest with you, like as a corner, that's what we talking about. We talking about dogs. Cortland Finnegan was a dog, and I like that shit. He pissed off receivers though. You did not want to be matched up against him because he was going to give you everything.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Cortland Finnegan was still playing and they played against Seattle? What DK Metcalf would do to him? Because DK Metcalf has proved.
Michael Westbrook him. What Michael Westbrook did to Stephen Davis.
Exactly.
Let Michael Westbrook know I should probably be fighting in UFC. I should probably do MMA because he beat the living shit out of Stephen Davis.
Well,
who was their rookie running back?
DK Metcalf, on like 3 separate occasions this year, has gotten into fights with corners and has just manhandled them while in the middle of blocking. So Cortland Finnegan is smaller, and he would try to. He would. It would be fun though, because Cortland wouldn't. It's like when I take my dog to the dog.
He's like that Chihuahua that just wouldn't fucking give up.
That's what I'm saying. I was literally just about to say. It's like when I take my dog to the dog park, one of these little dogs won't leave him the fuck alone. It's just like.
Yeah.
The other easy game. Oh well, those were 2 easy games. Even though Denver, I'll give credit to their defense. Vic Fangio.
I do. That's Vic. That's Vic Fangio all the way.
All right, so now. We can
minus Von Miller, mind you.
That's the thing that I want to bring up. You said that they lost. The biggest thing is they lost one of the best franchise players in their history. That's a big fucking loss.
And Bradley Chubb actually stepped up and like did some shit. I mean, Denver. I'll be honest with you. I'm looking at them. They Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy and Locke need to get more in step, but Tim, what his last name is? Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick has been playing like when he's been healthy. Drew Lock and Tim Patrick, that connection has been a healthy connection when they've both been on the field together. So they figured that thing out. And Noah Fant, I think he can be a really good tight end. Just the way that it looks right now, it hasn't really materialized yet. So I think Noah Fant will be a better tight end once Cortland Sutton is back on. Because right now, and also KJ Hamler out of Penn State. KJ Hamler is a baller. This guy, and I think KJ Hamler, he's your Swiss Army knife. And if they get him more involved in run and some like reverses and runs and all that, I mean, they have weapons that they could really use. Denver's interesting.
Yeah, no, they have
very interesting.
They have a good looking future possibly in front of them. They have a lot of pieces. A lot of pieces.
Yeah, they got a lot of pieces. I'm interested in that.
All right, so next week starts with it's only interesting because of the history. Well, now because of the record, New England at the Rams for Thursday night. So does the Bill Belichick McVay effect still hold true in this one? Because I'm going with New England, even though I don't care if they have to travel, because Sean McVay just cannot beat Bill Belichick's defense. Because even remember when the Rams played the Dolphins earlier this year, the Dolphins smacked them.
It seems like that Billy Bellick, the hoodie tree, has McVay's number, just like his homeboy out in San Francisco.
Yeah,
like you just know what this cat's gonna do. Doesn't even matter.
Yeah. So that's real interesting. Plus, New England's kind of playing. They have some good momentum, but Los Angeles defense is for real and underrated. It's an underrated defense, even though statistically right now I think it might be not. I know they have the number 1 pass defense in the league.
Here's the interesting thing, though. What's New England's run defense looking like? Because we know what they can do. I'm sorry. No. Let me flip that. We know New England passing wise, but running wise, I mean, we know what that monster could do, Aaron Donald. But Harris has been running well. We got James White again, and I've seen the Rams get run on. So
that's why I'm going to go with New England, because the best part of the Rams defense is going to be null and void, not because New England's receivers are so good. It's because they're so bad. You're going to have them outside wasted away doing nothing all day. Literally, Ramsey and Williams are going to be doing nothing, and they'll be able to run not necessarily up the middle, but right around Aaron Donald. Or if you do what
they might be able to catch like a Williams maybe off guard.
And what Belichick will do is not only will he take away your best thing, but since their best thing is Aaron Donald, you actually attack Aaron Donald. You just double team him and run at him the entire day, and just wear him out, like just all day. Cam up the middle, Harris up the middle, and then hit James White with swing passes, and then for Christ's sakes, use a tight end. Like, just use your tight end. Cam doesn't have a big arm. Use a tight end. The closest throws possible, please.
Thank you. Use a fucking tight end. But they don't have any tight ends. Who's their tight end?
Ryan Izzo from Florida State, who never has materialized into anything. Just whoever is playing tight end, I don't care if it's the backup at Iowa. Draft them. Just do it. Just do it. All their tight ends are dope.
Oh, you love them Iowa tight ends, yo.
Dude, all of them are dope.
Oh, I know. You. I mean, they definitely need a tight end, big time. They need a tight end, big time. Yeah. But Cam is not comfortable with the receivers. I mean, look, is the N'Keal Henry experiment done?
No, it's not. They just need to use him for what he is. Turn him into a possession receiver. Stop sending somebody who can't get separation down the field and down the sidelines, looking for one-on-one vertical catches. Just turn him into, just have him run. He's big and he makes contested catches, so just use him on the sideline.
Edelman is on his way out. Let's just say. So then put him as a slot. N'Keal Harry's a slot. He's a big dude. Like, I get it. I mean, because as I'm looking at Pittsburgh, that's how they're kind of finally using James Washington. Because James Washington, I saw him play in Oklahoma State when Dum Mason Rudolph was throwing to him. That half-a-brained idiot. But James Washington was having 50-yard, 60-yard receptions, touchdowns all over the place at Oklahoma State. Mason Rudolph is something wrong with him. But anyway, but I saw that when Mason Rudolph can complete those passes to him in college, I was like, man, James Washington's going to be in the league. And then it wasn't happening for him. But now it's starting to come together because Big Ben realizes that this dude has some huge hands and he makes contested catches with 2-3 guys around him. So I think N'Keal Harry could be that. I think that would be
all right, so you know how James Washington is built?
Yeah, he's a little fucking like.
Yeah, but you know how his
muscle hamster.
His waist is like here.
Yeah,
that's exactly how the dude who ran the 4.2. He's built exactly like James, just legs all the way up to here.
Yeah,
because James Washington can really run.
Can. I'll be honest with you. I was laughing when you said that because I'll be honest with you. I'm 6'3", but my torso is small. I have fucking legs for days. You know what I'm saying? I tell you what, when I used to run, when I first started running track, I used to run like this, little choppy steps, because I felt like, you know, my feet hitting the ground as fast as they can made me run fast. Dumb. Then I was taught how to run, and it was like, your legs are this long. I never really realized how long my legs were. I didn't realize that about myself. Once I did, and I started using my stride, it was peace, see you later. I was like, oh shit, what? Your stride length is everything. It's everything.
Unless you're 5'8" from the mountains of West Virginia, and then
this shit got to be different.
And then you will run a 4.340, but that second 60 yards or 60 meters of that 100, you just start hearing steps behind you, and then these very tall people are taking very long steps, and you're just.
I used to hate having a race against little motherfuckers like you. Like, that's why when they would try to put me in a 60, I was like, for what? I'm not gonna do the 60. That's dumb. Now, get me in a hundo or 200, especially the 400. Now we talking, because I'll walk anybody down. let me let my stride work, because people who could just like, I'm like, oh, I can't do it. Because out of the blocks like this, I'm a terrible starter. But little short motherfuckers out of the block like that, I'm like, God damn it! And so I have to catch up. And I just need more real estate. If I can catch up and let my stride go to work, I'm getting y'all ass. But
all right, so being that I did run a 4.3 and was very fast, of course in high school I never got walked down. It was single A football in West Virginia. I had 20 and 30 yard cushions on people walking into the end zone. So I get to college and I switch to corner and I get this pick in practice and I take off. I had to do a couple weaves through, avoid the quarterback, and then I try to take what I think is the longest point so I can just try to outrun everybody and create enough of a cushion to the sideline and hit the left corner. And I made it all the way to the one, and then all of a sudden I just felt something from behind and just completely collapsed me. And it was a receiver who was 6'3", who also ran a 4.3, and he caught me at that corner because it was like a 70-yard run. I'm telling you, the first 30 yards, I'm out. That second 40, dude, I'm 5'7", and I have extremely short legs and a long torso. Dude, I never felt that before. Caught me from I was looking, the end zone was right there. I was just like, are you fuck? See, college is different, man.
But you know what? Which is okay. So this is great, because I want to transition to this. When I see players in the league, it's like, oh, they are broken away. They have the rock. They're an open field, and they're constantly doing this. It pisses me off, because I'm like, do you know how much speed you're losing by doing this? You're taking all of your forward momentum and turning it backwards. If you have a clear run, don't do that. Continue forward.
Well, that's why
if someone walks you down, then they get you. But you're going to help them walk you down if you're like, decrease. Don't do that. If there's a Jumbotron, look at the Jumbotron. That's what Randy Moss used to do. He just was like, oh, no, I'm good. Don't worry about someone walking you down. If you do that, you're going to make them walk you down. Don't do it.
Well,
run.
That was another thing.
Run.
That was another of Randy Moss's intricacies that made him the best deep ball receiver in history. He had such good ball location skills that he only had to look once, and then he could kind of figure out where it's going to be. And then he would say, I would never look back again until it was time to catch it, because I didn't want to lose any speed, because you never run a fast 40 like this.
And I'll tell you something. When I first got into football, I had a neighbor of mine who used to play at if anybody from New York is on here, Queens, Andrew Jackson in Queens. That was actually my zone school. I mean, it was one of the worst schools in the entire New York metropolitan area. Metal detectors and all that. You might get shot or stabbed. That was my zone school. I didn't end up going there. But he played there years before. Italian cat, fast. He just athletic anomaly. And so when I first started playing, I would want to like work out with him so he could like teach me how to do the thing. And so he would throw me deep balls and I'd be looking all the time. And he's like, you're wasting your speed running like this. You're not going to build speed doing that. He said, run, look one time, look, locate, and see where it's at and just haul ass, think where the ball is going to be. And I just haul. And he said at the last second, turn again and put your hands out. And I tell you, the very first time it worked, I looked, booked it. Da, 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 da. And then I'm like, it should be coming down like right about now. Looked, I put my hands out. As soon as I put my hands out, bing, ball. The first time it happens to you, it changes your entire game.
Did you see that graphic? 248 yards rushing as a team with an 8.6 yard average.
Oh my God, that's just disgusting.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what made me a good.
It changes the whole way you think about it because players want to look and you don't have to locate, determine, book it. Especially you like, oh shit, that's going. Bang, bang, bang. You got to use all your speed. Never look back. All your speed is, all the momentum's going this way. When you think it's about to come down, of course it takes practice. But when you think it's about to come, look again and already be prepared. That's how some of the best long-range touchdowns happen because it's practice over time and over time. And this is literally how I got better. How you utilize your full speed. I've seen guys who could run super fast, but their speed is nullified because they don't know how to work the game. They don't know the intricacies of the game. And so you can nullify your own speed by not having enough knowledge of how to use your speed. You know how to use your speed, like Randy? Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
And
so
now
that's what made me a good punt returner is that same ability because I'm not staring at the ball the entire time. Locate, move to where it's coming down, and then now look and start to map it out already. Look up, catch, and then you've already got it. Yeah. It was so easy to make that first man miss because I already had it mapped out. The first man was never going to make that tackle, ever. Because it's a punt return, dude. They're running at full speed. Their momentum, all you got to do is make one move, and they go right by you.
Yeah, because they're not breaking down early enough.
Right,
okay.
So what else we got?
And we can make this declaration now. Dallas has officially folded. They just don't give a shit. Everybody's making business decisions, and it's done deal.
Well, I actually look at, if you want to look at who has played the worst football in the NFL right now, it's the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Jets should have gotten a W. They've been competitive. The Jags have been competitive.
Jacksonville should have gotten a W. Yes.
Jacksonville's been competitive. Every other team at least has competed. Dallas, since Dak got hurt, they just gave up. They suck. Plus, they have a historically terrible defense.
But Jerry has already given Mike McCarthy vote of confidence, right? Hasn't said shit about Dak yet. Still, to this day.
Jerry Jones, what did Kanye say? Jerry Jones doesn't care about black quarterbacks.
But I'll even give you one better. Jerry Jones, right, compared Mike McCarthy to Jimmy Johnson. He was like, well, Jimmy Johnson only won one game in his inaugural season. Are you fucking shitting me? Jimmy Johnson knew how to build a team. Jimmy Johnson took Miami to multiple championships, how he knew how to build a team. He's comparing Mike McCarthy to Jimmy Johnson. Let's just let that sink in.
The same Mike McCarthy who got the job by lying to Jerry Jones and saying he watched every single play of every Cowboys game of the season before and already has a scheme.
Correct. Didn't know this fucking team was the shit.
What an asshole. Yeah. Speaking of Dallas, they're playing at Cincinnati this week.
Yeah, that could also be a toss-up.
It could be a toss-up because
Cincinnati actually is hard.
And, well, they're also playing on Tuesday evening right now, and they've got a very short week coming up. A very short week. And they're traveling also. They're traveling to Cincinnati. So.
Rona. What is this league we are watching this year?
Dallas literally has like a 2-day practice week this week. Maybe 1 day of effective practice.
Oh, my gosh, Craig. Yo. That's crazy.
I might actually rock with Cincinnati on that.
I'm saying, I'm like, yo, wow.
Ryan Finley might have a big game, and I look for T. Higgins to have a couple touchdowns probably.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Yeah. That's Carey's guy. That's not Nice's guy. Though. I don't care what Nice says.
That's my guy. I don't fucking care what Nice says. I've been talking about me.
So I'm no longer going to call them the Houston Texans. I'm just going to say Deshaun Watson is playing at Chicago.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson's playing at Ooh, that is interesting.
With no weapons and Chicago's D, like, can he do this by himself? No, he won't. But it depends. If Money Making Mitch starts, then I'm rolling with Houston. If anybody but Money Making Mitch starts, I might have to go with Chicago because Houston has just proven to just find a way to just blow games this year. They're just
true, but you don't believe in Kuti. You don't believe in that Kuti. You don't believe in Kuti.
Chicago's defense is really good though, so it's just like
I know. That's what I'm saying. Chicago's defense swayed me.
That's what I'm saying. Can Deshaun Watson beat if Money Making Mitch is starting and is only going to give you 96 yards of offense, then yes, Deshaun Watson can give you 100 and win by himself.
Yes.
He'll give you 10 points, 14 possibly by himself. Can Money Making Mitch do that? I don't think so. It also depends on what Houston's run defense is like because David Montgomery has been getting busy.
And who's going to have Rona? Who knows?
Maybe me, maybe you, maybe all of us.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, so
they're giving 90-year-olds the vaccine in London right now as we speak.
Yeah, they said let's give it to the old people first and see what happens.
How about this? How's this feel? It was good? You were gonna die anyway, right? All right, whatever.
You lived a fulfilling life. Oh my gosh! What?
Do it. It may give me powers. They don't know. They don't fucking know at this point.
They don't know anyway. This is why we need these bread and circuses that is the NFL right now.
Jesus Christmas.
Interesting game in the 1 o'clock window. Kansas City traveling to Miami. Now, if Fitzmagic was starting, I'd go with the Dolphins in the upsets.
This could be some classic trap shit. And I'll tell you why. Kansas City, while winning, yes. Just like why you and I both chose the Washington Chocolate City Bigums to win. They haven't been blowing teams out. They haven't been winning by these margins. And so Miami has shown in this entire year they're hungry. They play like savages every single week. They can run the rock. They got Gaskin back. It's gonna be a tough one.
It will be interesting to watch what Honey Badger and Gesicki do going up against each other. That'll be an interesting matchup.
Gesicki's playing well. I gotta think about this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about it, and it really depends on. I'm telling you, if Fitzmagic somehow ends up in this game and it's close, Miami's going to end up pulling it out because Kansas City is ripe to lose another game. Not only does their defense not play very well at all, their offense is only scoring like 24, 27 points in these games, and it's just with the Denver game, just like you guys could have realistically, and they walked away like
the offensive player of the game.
Interesting game. I'm definitely watching that one. I'm rooting for Fitzmagic to come in and save the day on that one. That'll be.
I know.
Awesome.
He is that ultimate. Like, just put him in, coach.
All right. So next game on the slate, really interesting. Personally for you, the G-Man. Now the biggest question is Colt McCoy starting again, or is Daddy Dum Dum's going to get the start? Because it's Arizona coming to the Giants. This is another winnable game because Arizona is chronically underperforming. And now you have Bradbury will be up against Hopkins, so Hopkins is going to have 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Wow, no. Bradbury's playing on a Pro Bowl level.
Yeah, so I might go with the G-Men again.
Yeah.
I look for Gallman to have a big game, especially if Colt McCoy's playing. Gallman's going to have a huge game. And Alfred Morris, it seems to be because it seems
talk to the people.
Yeah,
talk to the people.
It seems to be the formula for the G-Men is for Wayne Gallman to run from wherever the start of the drive is until like the 10-yard line, and then they put Alfred Morris in, and Alfred Morris scores. But are they going to rush Danny Dum Dum back and have a 80 to 90% quarterback playing instead of a 100% backup who just won a game and just won his first game and the first time in, God, I think it's been like 4 years or something for Colt McCoy. So shout out to Colt 40 McCoy. Because it's been 40 years since you won a game, and you did. So that's fucking dope. And just as to be expected, Baltimore is blowing out Dallas because Dallas fucking sucks. And I like how Dallas is hurrying up to the line of scrimmage with 24 seconds left and running a hurry-up offense down by 17.
Which makes no fucking sense. Dum-dums. I will say this about the G's versus Arizona. I think it's a beautiful thing that we just faced Russell the Love Muscle Wilson in Seattle right before we facing Kyler Murray and what's going on there, because similar situations in quarterback play. And I think we're going to be ready for them. And
I'm gonna rock with you guys. The momentums are trending in opposite directions, and I've been saying it all year. I don't like Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah, they might have a game where you're just like, wow. Well, they probably played a bad defense. Other than that, very inconsistent play, and I just don't like it. I don't like it. I never have. It works sometimes.
The Bills should have beat them. Like, they should have lost a few different games.
But it still needs. It's only their second season. They have it needs to develop.
Yeah,
so,
they're still growing.
So Minnesota at Tampa Bay. Tampa coming off the bye and 2 losses in a row. Very rare for Tom Brady. There won't be 3. Let's be realistic. It won't be 3.
Which is why I asked you, like, what is Tampa? I only asked you about Tampa Bay coming off a bye. There's other teams coming off a bye. I just wanted to know how you felt about Tampa Bay coming off that bye. And I feel like we may see AB emerge, or in the run, AB and or running game. Like, we need to see, if we see AB and running game emerge, then I believe Tampa Bay will be virtually unstoppable. Yeah. If we see AB and running game emerge, I just don't see how teams will beat them.
You can't.
And then you got monsters on the outside, and then Gronk in the middle, and then the defense can do what it really needs to be able to do and use all that speed and quickness. And yeah, but will they do that? We'll see.
See, what's funny about them is their defense is also built around a vertical offense.
Yeah.
So if the vertical offense isn't really kicking and doing what it does and getting up early and putting up a lot of points so there can just be a pass rush, then you're seeing them get exposed in the back end. So they're going to have to run the ball if they want to salvage the end of this season and make a run at the end of the playoffs. And It's all about Bruce Arians' ego. Can he step his ego aside and say, I'm going to do what's best for this team so we can get this W, or I'm still going to be like, it has to be my way. I'm going to win my way.
Greg Williams, yourself, Arians.
He has been.
You wear good newsies hats. Don't Greg Williams yourself.
20 years of watching Tom Brady, oh my God, an average of 18 games a season, for Christ's sakes, basically. He's not losing 3 games in a row. I don't give a fuck. He'll win it by himself. And if it does, then that's it for them this season. They will end up. They
do it for the center.
Well, they might implode towards the end of the season and lose a couple games, like split with Atlanta and lose this game, and then might not make the playoffs, and then Bruce Arians will lose his job, and then you open the door for Josh McDaniels to leave New England and go down and be the head coach in Tampa Bay, and that would be fun. But if I'm Josh McDaniels, I don't make that move. I actually go with Justin Herbert and what they've got out in LA with those toys, because they're all younger, and
Josh McDaniels has been to the West Coast before because he coached Denver and a young Timmy Teebs who he did not want. He did not want Timmy Teebs, but he was like, all right, well, let's see what we can do.
Here's a game. There's Denver at Carolina. It doesn't matter. These are meaningless games. It's more contract shit.
I think Christian McCaffrey is coming back,
and Teddy Two Gloves is starting, so it's not going to be that backup.
And let's remind everybody, when Christian McCaffrey came back, they almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, they also had a little run there where they won a couple games. It was just like, oh, they're playing all right, man. No, they're not.
The Matt Rule got those boys playing also. That looks like a very good hire. Teddy Bridgewater looks like the right quarterback for what Matt Rule wants to do down there. And
but I will say that
they finally started figuring out how to use Curtis Samuel, which is huge.
I will say that Drew Lock looks like the type of quarterback who that a good loss is a thing. And they just had a good loss, and I think that he'll actually play good. So I might go with Denver.
He's got that douchebag face. You know who he? Okay.
Is this Jay Cutler all over again?
Okay. Oh, okay. I was gonna say that, but on the more positive spectrum, like a Philly Rivers. You know what I mean? Like who he'll take that and he'll be like, all right, I'm gonna learn from that. And because he's gonna talk shit. Once he starts having some success, more success in his career, he's gonna be a quarterback who talks a lot of shit. Trust me.
He just looks, he looks like a quarterback that his team doesn't like him, and that's no matter how good you are, that can be an issue.
He was like a highly touted basketball player too. He could have played D1 basketball, so he has that in him too.
Definitely a shit talker then. Tennessee at Jacksonville. Well, Tennessee's going to bounce back, and Jacksonville sucks. Jacksonville will compete. Don't get it twisted. They will compete.
Let's not get it twisted.
They will compete, and it is in Jacksonville. So if it's hot, that could be a factor, but not really. It's Tennessee. They're not going to lose back to back. It's not going to happen. Indy at Vegas. Good game. 4:00 game. Mm-hmm. It's a good one. Mm-hmm. Like a really good game. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know.
At Vegas. Indoor though. Okay.
Does Vegas ride does that win steam or like snowball into more momentum, or is it one of those ones where like they weren't supposed to win that one and then they just completely they laid an egg?
Let's talk about this. They struggled against the fucking Jets.
They laid an egg and still got a W.
And they still got a W. But let's talk about they struggled against the fucking Jets. They're going to have to come out with more fire if they have any hopes of winning this game.
So with Vegas in Indianapolis, all right, so Indy split their games with KC this year, right? In the first game, they controlled the clock. Phillip didn't have any turnovers, and basically,
No. Las Vegas split their games against KC.
Oh yeah, you're right. Indy almost beat KC the first time, then got blown out the second time. All right, so Vegas is the one who split them. So it's just like, which Derek Carr are we going to see? Are we going to see the one who goes for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns and balls out, or are we going to see the one who doesn't show up against a good defense? Interesting game. Also, is Phillip
Vegas ran the rock down Kansas City's throat. Can Vegas do that against Indy's D? Indy's D is tough.
It's a good game though. It's gonna be. I'm definitely watching that one.
And Indy's getting all their players that they lost to Rona and all their other shit back. They're back now.
So
Bruckner is back now. So they're getting their D back. So
well, that changes my pick. If Buckner's back, that changes it. It's the whole pick is different. Whole pick is different. The most entertaining game of the week on paper. I will definitely not be watching this dumpster fire. The Adam Gase Jets at Seattle. So can 2 New York teams travel to Seattle back-to-back and get upset W's? Is it over for Seattle? Greg Williams is gone. Oh, is that enough of a bad coach gone bump for them to have that W?
I don't give a fuck who's gone. If the Jets go out to Seattle and beat Seattle needs to fire everybody.
Over. You lose to the Giants and the Jets back-to-back at home, you're done.
Fire everybody if that shit happens. Absolutely not. I will tell you.
Everybody except Russell and DK got to go.
And Jamal Adams is now on Seattle after he begged his way out of fucking hell no. He personally himself, he will die on the field, which he said as a rookie. He will die on the field before he allows that to happen. Hell to the fuck no. That's not gonna happen.
Oh, but what if it does? So fun. So much fun.
Then he may commit Harry Carey on the field and end his life.
So much fun. I hope it happens. It won't. So Green Bay at Detroit. So Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for about 7,000 yards and 47 touchdowns. The only problem with games like this, what I've learned in fantasy, and then my virgin year of fantasy, is Green Bay is going to get up so much. They're going to get up so much that Aaron Rodgers is going to end up with 280 yards and 3 touchdowns, and they're still going to win by 30.
You may think, talking to a fantasy vet, you may think that's about to happen. May think he's about to get $400. He won't, because they do have Aaron Jones back. They cannot stop the run. Aaron Jones may ball out. Aaron Jones may have like $150, $160. You know what I'm saying? But where Aaron will get his numbers is throwing the rock to Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones has both a good rushing and passing game. I think Devontae Adams' numbers comes down, but he still has another receiving touchdown or 2. But Detroit always plays Green Bay hard. So this is going to be a closer game, and I think it will come down to what Aaron Jones does as opposed to Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I mean, if it does go quickly, like if they jump up by 21 or, something 24-3 at halftime, then you're looking at a second half where you're not going to throw the ball that much, and then the stats just aren't there. And that's something I learned about fantasy this year is you have to look at how your high school career is when you play homecoming and you're playing the worst team on your schedule, and we're not getting in the third quarter. Yeah, we're only going to get a couple opportunities this game to get in the end zone.
That's what I'm saying. Like as you go, especially where the fantasy aficionados really win is in these weeks where you may rest some starters, where you're going to blow teams out, and who's that second or third guy that you need to put in that's going to help you win. Because You're just not going to play your starters like that, especially if you have guys on these high-powered teams who are going to the playoffs. You got to think about all that shit.
Well, you're looking at like Minnesota and Tampa Bay's offenses. Somebody's putting up big numbers because they're putting both.
Also, you got to see these teams who are evaluating talent moving forward because their season's already shot. That's why I keep bringing up Kuti. That's why I keep bringing up like these names that we haven't heard all year, because you need to really look. Kuti is going to ball the rest of this season. Whoever has Kuti, kudos to you, because you may win some games.
This is the first time in American history that having Kutis is a positive thing for you.
Cooties will help you win. You want the cooties right now.
So it's really interesting how New Orleans' schedule was played out since Taysom Hill has taken over. They haven't really played anybody. So New Orleans is at Philly. Like, the defense is good enough to get them W's, and Alvin Kamara is talented enough he's going to get you 10 to 14 points on his own. So it's just like, again, they're going to get a W. So my real question is about this game is this just setting New Orleans up for playoff failure? Yes. The answer is yes, it is. It's setting them up for playoff failure because one of two things is going to happen.
Well, here's the thing. I've been hearing reports that Drew Brees may come back. May almost be ready to come back, which I don't know how you break 11 ribs, which most humans have 24, 12 on each side. Some have an extra one, which just right up in the collarbone. You can get it removed, no big deal. But you broke one rib, right? You broke half your shit, collapsed lung. You are 40 what? I don't know, my friend. I think you may want to just continue to sit this shit out.
Especially this Philly game, like you don't.
New Orleans loves you. They will erect a statue in your honor. You won them a chip post-Katrina. You have nothing to prove, my friend. Let either Taysom Hill or crab legs W-eating Jameis Winston get in that game and take all that punishment. Don't come back, Drew. I'm telling you, unless you feel fully healed and you are in a deep playoff run. Let me tell you this. The undefeated Dolphins, Earl Morrall won the majority of those games. Earl Morrall was the backup to Bob Greasy. He won the majority of those games because Bob Greasy got hurt early in the season. You know when Bob Greasy got back in the game? The Super Bowl, which was fucked up to Earl Morrall because Earl Morrall won 90% or plus of those games.
Worked out for them when they got that chip, though.
They got that chip, though.
So, all right, so here's the interesting thing about what's going to happen. Here's what I think they should do. All right, so this week at Eagles, you don't need Drew Brees for this game. The next week after that, now you're looking at 11-3 and the number 1 seed in the NFC, right? The next week is at Kansas City. No need to rush him back for a game. Go ahead and take that L. You might win. It's actually better for you to have Taysom Hill running the ball and keeping the clock moving than it is to have Drew Brees in there hurt.
Correct.
Easily.
Correct.
So keep him out. And then the next game is at home against the Vikings. So if Drew Brees is healthy, you've got a 2-week break.
That's when you put him in.
You bring him back
against the Vikings.
Against the Vikings, who have a terrible defense. And then the last game of the year is
rest.
And it's at home. And then the last game of the year is at the Panthers. So that's just basically like a warm-up for the playoffs or what now. And that's 2 easy games after the Chiefs lost that you might be able to eke that one out, possibly, because the Chiefs can't stop the run. You might be able to eke that one out. And it's a home game, so the Chiefs are coming to the Dome. So that's real interesting. So no need for Drew Brees to play in that one. So even if you lose that one, and then you come back and you win against these 2 bad teams, you're looking at 13-3 record, and you will be the number 1 seed anyway. So No need to
If
rush
I
back,
see
Drew.
Drew before the Chiefs, I'm angry.
Yeah, no need to rush him back at all. The schedule dictates that he doesn't even need to be in.
And Taysom Hill, let me tell you something. He's shown that he has a live arm and he can run. And like, look, fuck him, let this boy go.
Yeah, no, if he doesn't fumble the ball against the Chiefs, they might pull that game out. They might pull that game out.
And you clearly see where you value Taysom Hill as opposed to where you value crab legs. We got it now.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't fumble, and you're talking about a coach who is smart enough to utilize what he has and come up with a game plan.
He loves Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
This is what I tell everybody. If you're trying to make it in any field that you want to make it in, you only need one person, the right person to believe in you. Sean Payton is the only person who believes Taysom Hill is a starting quarterback in this league. Guess what? Taysom Hill is a starting quarterback in this league and is getting wins. You only need one person, the right person, whatever field you're in, to believe in you. Taysom Hill.
Bill Walsh believed in Jerry Rice when everyone else said who?
Exactly.
Who?
You need one, the right one, to believe in you.
Wait a minute, you want to use your first round pick?
You don't need a million fans. You need one person, the right one person to believe in you, and you take off like a motherfucker. You still got to work.
First round pick, Mississippi Valley State.
Mississippi Valley fucking State.
Who?
Yes, you know what I'm saying? He didn't go to Ole Miss. He didn't go to Alabama. He went to Mississippi Valley State. He was catching bricks from his father.
So here's the funny thing about Jerry Rice's career, right? So for those of you that might be too young to know, he got discovered because the 49ers were playing, what was it, the Saints? They were playing somebody down in that area, and he was watching the Sports Center or whatever, the local sports show, in his hotel room at night, and he saw Jerry Rice's local sports affiliate highlights, and he was just bawling on everybody. He was just like, who the fuck is this guy? And you know, and then Kerry, I know you know, Jerry Rice's rookie year did not go like the rest of his career did. He had a lot of drops and a lot of mental issues, and there was questions on whether or not he was even going to be able to make it, but Bill Walsh believed in him, and then look what happened.
Yes, he did.
That's crazy. Imagine he has to take a shit or something during that highlight, and he doesn't see that. Jerry Rice would still have probably gotten a shot in the league, but wouldn't have been with the guy who believed in him, would have had a bad rookie year, and would have flamed out, because that's how the NFL was. Crazy.
And because he was such a family dude, he would have went back and worked with his pops.
100%.
And this would have helped his pops out and would have figured something else out.
So,
and he would have had that monster. Never seen him.
So you always have to think of that, an odd story like that was a success, and the absolute plethora of the failure stories that are like that, to where somebody did have a bad camp or a rookie year, and you know they had to go back home because if somebody got sick, and they just, like the guy who started at corner in front of me the first 2 years of college, Donnell, went and played for the Cowboys and was their starting nickel corner in camp and was balling because we had the Donnell rule in college. He wasn't allowed to tackle anybody on the offense because he was literally knocking people out, and he played corner. Of course he went to the NFL. He got appendicitis like in the 5th or 6th week of camp or whatever, like the second preseason game or whatever, and had to sit out like 2 weeks, and they end up cutting him from camp, and he never got another phone call again, and now he's a preacher in Chicago.
Yeah. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
Also, look at this. I mean, like, I don't know, like
if coach would have just put me in, I swear we'd have won state.
You see those mountains? I bet you.
Yo, what's so funny? It's so funny is because in every small town in America, at least during the 80s and 90s, there was that guy. If coach had just put me in, my whole life would have been different. No, it wouldn't.
That's some real ass shit. But there's so many stories. Like, look at T.O. T.O. was dropping been mad passes when he got to the league. Look, if we just take even a microcosm of that, the NFC Championship game, Packers versus 49ers, he's dropping everything. But Steve Young throws him the rock in the end zone because they need it, and he caught it in between two, gets knocked the shit out of him, catches it, falls down, gets up, touchdown. San Francisco goes on. I mean, it's like he's crying.
All right, so a good example of that for those who might not know, they did an interview once with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And this is during Michael Jordan's heyday. And they said, who is the player that struck the most fear into your heart ever? And he said, the GOAT. And they're like, Michael Jordan? He said, no, the real GOAT. Earl the GOAT, Manigault. For those who don't know Earl the GOAT, Earl the GOAT was literally like the greatest basketball player who has ever lived, and some things happened, and he had to basically got kicked out of his senior year in basketball, which led to going to a JUCO somewhere in the middle of nowhere, into a system where the coach is like, you're going to play my way instead of me using this ridiculous talent. I had the best player in the planet in my JUCO. What the fuck?
Grab a quarter off the top of the backboard.
And he was only like 6'1" or 6 foot. He wasn't even that big, but
They said that Earl the GOAT Manigault could grab a $20 bill off the top of the backboard
and leave change. And that's not a Bo Jackson exaggeration. That actually happened.
Not an exaggeration. That is real deal.
Because he used to bet people, and that's how he would hustle and make money in the park. Is they would leave the 20 up there, and he would jump up and take it and leave change and just walk out. True story. That's what ridiculous. He probably had like a 60-inch vertical.
Ridiculous.
But look, he never manifested. Nothing never happened because he got into a bad situation and then got into a bad system and then left out of there. And, not as tragic as the Len Bias angle, but still tragic.
It's still tragic, yes.
So Atlanta at the Chargers. Oh my God. Dumpster fire game. Watch Atlanta go and win, and Anthony Lynn. Kerry, how the fuck does he keep his job?
They're trending in two different ways. Raheem Morris, Anthony Lynn.
How does he keep his job after blowing so many games and then going to New England and blow 45-0? Not only is it 45-0, you had a punt blocked and you had a special teams you had two special teams touchdowns and almost another one. Dominated in every phase of the game. How does he have his fucking job?
Anthony Lynn, I think he made a declaration. He made a death knell declaration. He said, we will never ever ever never. When you say all these nevers and evers and nevers and nevers, and then if you show up to the next game and you get the shit smacked out of you, or you just lose, those nevers and nevers, they remember that, and they're like, well, then you're not our guy. He said too many nevers and too many never evers.
Only once has that been in history has that been acceptable.
Timmy Teebs.
No, only once. No, only once. Even Timmy Tebow, that was not acceptable. It was too many. Only once.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, ever. That's the only time that's ever been acceptable. Shout out to Three Stacks.
Yes, Three Stackaronis.
Yo, you know what? If they were to see, he should do a versus. That would be a good one.
He is. You know what? You know what's so funny about him? For as ill as he is, he feels like he's been out of it for so long. He's kind of like, can I still do it? It's like, yo, you were one of the illest that ever done it. He's questioning himself.
You know what he needs to do? First of all, he needs to sign Tyrod Taylor to his record label.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Instant success. And then
Tyrod will like blow out an Achilles and be like,
he'll go.
It was like larynx, so like fucking
Go into the booth and blow it.
right one of the illest verses ever and be like try to fucking spit it, blow his fucking larynx out.
Blow his vocal cords in his first session.
Jesus.
But he would come out with fire after that though. And then the second thing that he needs to do is he needs to call Erica at least for a weekend stay. Like, get that sensu bean, whatever it is that she's got. Let her put that voodoo on you.
Just say, hey, Seven, what your mama doing? Hey, why don't you?
Exactly.
Why don't we invite her over for New Year's? Let's hit this 2021 in a different way. You know what I'm saying? That's it. It'll change this whole trajectory. Because 3 Stacks should be making fucking music, point blank, period. I don't want to hear shit from nobody.
His verses would be extremely entertaining, though.
Verses would be Yo, how ill would it be if Big Boy and 3 Stacks did the verses against each other?
I was already thinking that.
Because they could do it.
I was already thinking that. It'd be awesome.
They could do it. And actually, they did. That's how they met in high school. They were adversaries, and then they became partners.
They kind of did it, and they won a Grammy for it. They did an album where they each did their own album and put it together, and they won a Grammy. So incredible.
But let's be honest. Who was the public on whose album more? Exactly. Roses smell like boo boo all day. Every day.
Won a Grammy with a Boo Boo line. Incredible. Who's not going to win anything with a Boo Boo line is... I think the Chargers, I think they're really done for the year. I think they're really done. I think that 45 to nothing, I think they're done. That locker room's done.
When I saw that, I was like, oh... I wanted to fire Anthony Lynn, and I like that dude. And I was like, how does this happen?
This isn't college. This isn't college or high school, dude. This is the NFL.
I was actually like shocked. I didn't think any team this year would experience some shit like that. Not in this year. And then New England to do it, who's had all sorts of injuries, all sorts of whatever, everything that's gone on with New England, for them to do that against that team, that team is talent. They got talent up and down the fucking roster.
Listen, man.
Let's be honest. They got talent up and down the roster. So then when I see that, I'm like, oh, are you not the guy to handle this talent? Because that team is talented.
Well, Justin Herbert is going to break every rookie record statistically. It's completely loaded. And you go 45 to nothing. Oh, it's over. The locker room.
The year where Keenan Allen doesn't get injured, you got Hunter Henry. You got Mike Williams. Eckler just got back. You got Bosa, who's there now, who just got back. Like, I'm like, wait. Denzel Perryman, who's an ill linebacker. I'm like, wait a minute. 45 to nothing?
45 to nothing in an NFL game would be like an NBA game being 130 to 20. Like,
that's unacceptable.
You just be like, wait a minute, they didn't score in anything in the NFL? That's teams go years without having a scoreless game.
A donut. Yeah, that's unacceptable.
Years, because they will literally kick a field goal with no time left to avoid the donut. To put up an actual zero is really hard to do in the NFL. It's really hard. Everybody's playing prevent defense at the end of the games. Backups are in. Easy garbage numbers to get down the field and kick a field goal. To throw up a donut is so hard. I can't believe they actually did that against a team that's not even good. Oh, incredible.
Which talking of donuts, even though I fucking hate this team, but I also kind of, because I play defense, love this team. The 99-2000 Ravens, who threw up 7 donuts. 7. They gave 7 donuts to teams.
Impossible.
An impossible thing to do. They shut out 7 professional NFL teams. if y'all don't know what this is, just look that up. The 85 Chicago Bears. There's a couple different teams that we've said of the Steel Curtain teams, best defenses of all time, Purple People Eaters, all that shit. That 99-2000 Baltimore Ravens team pitched 7 professional shutouts.
And then a linebacker won Super Bowl MVP.
They barely had a quarterback. Their quarterbacks were Tony Banks and Trent Dilfer. Not lighting up any scoreboards. Their main offensive weapon, Matt Stover, their kicker, who kicked field goal after field goal. They won via field goals.
Their biggest offensive threat was Brandon fucking Stokely.
Well, I'm saying like the scoring that will.
No, I'm just saying that's how bad their offense was.
Yeah. And they had Jamal Lewis, who was an ill running back, but to score, they kicked them field goals. They pitched 7 shutouts. You won't see that again.
Ever.
You just won't.
They won multiple games that year without scoring a touchdown. That's incredible.
You won't ever see that again in NFL history. So, I'll be honest with you. I label them the best defensive team of all. I saw the 85 Chicago Bears. They were monsters for sure. I've seen tapes of the no-name defense, Steel Curtain, Purple People Eaters, the Orange Crush, all these defenses, all my G's defenses. That Ravens team pitched all those shutouts, bar none.
I will say that's about that Ravens team. They had elite level talent at every single aspect of the defense.
Every single.
And then the fill-in parts. Rotation on the defensive line, weak side linebacker, nickel corner, things of that nature. They were also
Mike
studs.
McCrary, Saragusa,
studs.
Fucking Ray Lewis. I mean, it's just like, McAllister. Like, it just was like, yo.
Was it that a young Suggs? Wasn't he on that team too?
Nah, Suggs wasn't with them
on
yet. That team. He came later.
Yeah, who was the other side? They had
Michael McClary.
Boulware.
Michael McClary. Boulware. Peter Boulware.
Peter Boulware. That's who I'm thinking about.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said Peter Boulware. Sarah Good. Like, it was like, oh my God.
Loaded. But what I think about it, what's so insane is like you go back through the greatest players at your position of all time. And they had 2 of them on that defense playing at the same time. At that time period, were the most crucial and important pieces of defense.
And Eddie Reed was mad young, but Ray was in his bag.
It didn't matter that Ed Reed was young. This moment he stepped onto the field, he was.
Oh yeah, he was already
Ed Reed.
And Chris McAllister was one of the best corners in the fucking league at that time. A big corner, physical, could do everything.
Well, it's changed now. Now it's defensive ends and shut down.
Patrick Surtain too? Was Patrick Surtain on the other side?
He might have been. He might have been.
Which Patrick Surtain was also mad dope. And his son is actually killing it right now in Alabama.
Yeah, Patrick Surtain, when he was in Miami, him and the other corner, I never remember the other corner's name. They were dope as fuck. I don't know about that Atlanta Chargers game. I think the Chargers might be done. They definitely, until they fire Anthony Lynn, they're not going to get a W. Washington at San Francisco. That's really at Arizona.
Really at Arizona.
And since San Francisco is currently staying in Arizona, and they're not staying in like the Four Seasons, dude, they're playing at like a Motel 8 for like 4 weeks or something retarded. I didn't factor that in. That's why I picked them. I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go with the opposite week this week. I'm not gonna make that mistake again. And plus, I've been riding the Alex Smith train hard lately. Let's go.
Yeah. Done. Yeah.
And that defensive line, really, really active. Really active.
Legit. Yeah.
Best game of the week, Pittsburgh at Buffalo. Pittsburgh coming off a shocking loss, but not shocking if you watch this show. We knew what was happening. I actually am going to go with Pittsburgh losing 2 in a row. Buffalo's playing really well, and Pittsburgh has to go into Buffalo, and Pittsburgh can't run the ball. Bud Dupree going down is too big of a loss to factor it for.
Huge. It is huge.
Losing Devin Bush, they were able to keep going, but now you lose Bud Dupree. That's too much. And we don't know how long Joe Hayden's going to be out, which is another huge loss with that defense.
Yeah, I don't even know what his situation is right now.
I don't.
So either. I need to look at injury reports, see who's coming back, who's going to be available. Even
if he's cleared to play, you're talking about a compromised Joe Hayden who is in his upper 30s having to match up against Stephon Diggs, who's going to eat him up.
Well, and not only that, but what we have just seen in this last game with the Bills, that rookie receiver Davis, who had 2 tutties, who I've seen this Davis kid get busy in previous games. I've been keeping his name in my mind.
And Cole Beasley had his best game he's ever had.
Cole Beasley, this is best season of his career. And because him and Josh Allen definitely have a rapport. And see, this is the thing, right? Because we talked about Baker earlier with him forcing the ball to Odell, whereas Josh Allen got Diggs, but Diggs was worked in. He was still getting the ball to Cole Beasley. He was still getting the ball to his tight end. He was still getting the ball. Diggs got his touches in the flow of the offense, but he was still getting the ball to other people. And that's what that – so if we're looking at development, Josh Allen, which people didn't realize is Josh Allen in development-wise, this is Josh Allen, this is Baker. Baker's just starting to realize this. Like, okay, I have a stud receiver. I don't have to try to force the ball to him every time.
Yeah, I'm definitely rocking with Buffalo, and I'm looking at Pittsburgh to lose 3 of their last 4 games and go on a slide.
And listen, when
a quick
Omar
exit in the playoffs.
When Omar Epps is that mad at his team after a victory, you have to look at that team and say, okay, what is he seeing? They just won. What is he seeing I'm not seeing? I saw what he was seeing, but I was like, oh. And so, yeah, it's doomsday. He's that mad. He sees some shit that he may not be able to correct in time to make a good playoff run.
Well, see, that's just like it's the exact same thing with New Orleans. They keep winning and they have a great defense, but they're also beating lower tier teams. So it's just like, I need to see you play against good teams. And we just saw Pittsburgh lose against a good team. Mm-hmm. And they lost against a team. And Buffalo is also a good team.
A good team, correct.
And I'm telling you, I see it written. You can see it. You can see it written in the trajectory. We watch football our whole lives. We see Pittsburgh's season of run. Sometimes the last team to lose is going to be the first team to lose in the playoffs because it's just like you exhausted all the momentum in the beginning of the year and injuries start to add up. And then sometimes you get so good that you start like getting away from what got you successful and whatnot. And then you can't find your way back all of a sudden. And looking for them to tumble, still going to make the playoffs, might not win their division. Yeah. Fuck around and lose a couple games and have Cleveland go on a run.
Fuck around. They're not going to get that first bye.
They're not going to. They're not going to because Kansas City is going to continue to be Kansas City, and they're going to lose a couple of these games, including the last game of the year against the Dog Pound in Cleveland, which will be fucking awesome.
Which Cleveland always plays them hard, especially last game of the season.
So
and has won.
Yeah, so Monday night, Baltimore, who just won, but they beat Dallas, who fucking cares, against Cleveland. I'm rocking with Cleveland because they have figured it out. They know they have the formula to win, and they just shut down Derrick Henry in that offensive run game. They're going to do the same thing to Baltimore, and Baltimore can't turn around and throw the ball to try to keep up with them.
Cleveland has the goods.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Cleveland and Pittsburgh, before we get done with this, the Cleveland and Pittsburgh race at the end of the year is going to be very interesting because Pittsburgh.
Cleveland could end up taking the division. They have a 2-game lead right now.
So
if we're predicting a Pittsburgh fall in these last couple games, Cleveland could very well take the fucking division.
All right, so Pittsburgh's up 2 games right now, but they play at Buffalo. Then they go to Cincinnati, which they're going to win that one. But then they play the Colts and then go at Cleveland to finish the season, right?
So that last game could be for the division.
So Cleveland has the Ravens coming up, and then they go to you guys. That'll be an interesting game. But I'm looking for Cleveland to get that W. Let's be realistic here. And then they get the Jets. Yeah, I know. It'll be interesting, though. You guys are playing well. Good defense, run game. Good run game. If Colt McCoy's starting, I'm definitely not. No. Daddy Dum Dum, possibly. We'll see. And then they play the Jets. Whatever. And then finishing at the Steelers. So you're looking at, say they go, Cleveland wins the next 3, right? That gets them to 12-3. And then Pittsburgh only wins 1, and they're going to be 12-3. Cleveland and Pittsburgh playing for the division.
For the division.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I can already see the schedule is dictating it and the way that these teams are playing because Pittsburgh is not playing well. They got a couple hollow victories.
They are not playing well.
Same thing with Kansas City. They've got a few hollow victories.
Kansas City better reevaluate and quickly because they're going to catch a big L soon.
Yeah, that's why you look at that Tampa Bay win over Green Bay when they dominated them. That was like a real victory. That's not a hollow victory. But then they go and they lose to Chicago, but you have to understand the way football works. Chicago's just a bad matchup because Khalil Mack literally won that game by himself. I mean, come on.
Yeah, where we have Tomas Brady at that time, and he's just looking, and he's just like.
All right, so looking at the game picks, I am going to achieve my goal of having a Belichickian record. Right now I'm 144-49, so I'm almost at 750%. Which is when things were playing, I was like, I think I could hit that. That's 3 out of every 4 to be expected. You're now 13 behind.
Okay.
I'm telling you, just these weird games, you literally could have had like a 7-game swing. And funny things like the New England game, that was easy, things like that. And then Baltimore, come on, Dallas.
I'm rolling the Giants. I'm playing Vegas. I'm rolling the Giants.
Well, karma got you back for tonight.
13 behind.
Yeah, karma.
That means I'm still successful as fuck because I'm winning a whole lot more than I'm losing.
Oh my God, yes. And even Colton's record is still 121-72. And if you're looking at football numbers, that's above 60%. That's huge.
Colton. All right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though. This is karma for you picking Dallas in this game. You deserve that one.
No, I deserve that. I do. When you have Dallas fans that for years who are wanting to tank, you just don't pick that squad, and I did anyway. So.
Well, that's what you get. So that's been our first game watch along. It was who cares? It was football though. Tuesday football.
Football Tuesday, baby.
Football Tuesday. Now Baltimore also has to go on a very short week, which is another reason I'm going to pick them to lose this game coming up this week. Dude, you're turning around Tuesday to Sunday.
Yeah, that's tough.
So they're traveling. So you're leaving. The game's over tonight. So tomorrow is immediately there is no break. It is Wednesday already, and then that's game planning and whatnot. And you're realistically going to have to do rehab and all that. And so now the game plan is going to have to be put in on Thursday or Friday, and then you have Saturday you're traveling. You literally have 2 days to prepare for this game. That is incredible. Yep. That is incredible. Good luck in Cleveland, Baltimore.
Yeah.
You're looking at a team who's playing very well and is fully rested, had a huge win over a great team, and now you're playing 2 games in 5 fucking days. That's amazing. In the NFL, that is fucking with half of you got like 12 players out with the Roni. And we're going to see how many players they got out with the Roni now. I bet you that game gets pushed. That Cleveland-Baltimore game is going to get pushed to Monday or Tuesday. Guaranteed.
Most likely.
Guaranteed. Des Bryant just had the Roni in pregame.
I don't see how there's not like 15 other players who got fucking Browns.
Oh my God! All right, man. So until next week, it's been another. I mean, this is crazy. I can't believe 13 weeks we made this through. This football season's flying because we ain't got shit to do except wait for football. It's fucking retarded.
Straight up, we've been doing it. It's been good.
You know what? What's coming next week? Not this week up, but the next week after that. Saturday NFL football, like real Saturday NFL football.
Oh, it's coming. I love Saturday NFL football. Like, that shit is dope.
NFL fans always love Saturday football because
so good.
It's always good. They're always meaningful games because it's towards the end of the year.
Always dope. You know what? The Browns always play on Saturday. They always do, like traditionally, and they're actually good.
It's weird because we'll have Saturday football for that 1 week. And then in week 17, there's no buys left. There's no Thursday football. There's no Monday football. It is literally a full Sunday schedule, and every team plays. So it's 16 games in week 17, and they're all divisional matchups. So
dope.
It's crazy. Before we get off here, do you remember the bad days of NFL scheduling when the end of the year wouldn't be divisional games?
Right, of course, yes. Where it was just like, you saw third stringers playing all the time, and everybody was just like chilling, laughing. You see the starters on the sideline laughing and pointing, and it's just like, I got some stakes on this game, motherfuckers. I really wish y'all would have played. Yeah.
Well, not only that, you got fans who paid a lot of money because NFL games are expensive.
And it's just like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Wait, I paid to see Peyton Manning, not Caleb Haney. What the fuck is going on? And that really happened. I'm using that as an example because that really happened. Remember, the Colts were 13-0 and decided to rest their starters for the playoff run, and they lost 2 of their last 3 games. And then they end up, and Football Karma got their dumbasses for doing that because they lost in the Super Bowl to the Saints.
Sure did.
But yeah, no, Pat McAfee talks about that season all the time, how they were like, all the players were like, wait a minute, we're not playing? We're undefeated. Why are we not playing? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that's dumb. That was dumb.
Stupid. All right, homie. I appreciate your time once again, and we'll be in touch as this football week develops. Like I said, as far as things developing right now, Jalen Hurts is starting for the Eagles this week.
Love it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
All right, homie. We out.